This has to be little bit motha. Look.
Start the conduct of the session, inaugural session.
Good evening, everyone. This is Mansi, your host today. So today is Engineers Day, and we are also celebrating Engineers Day today. So I'll just ask Vanshika to just display that. Yeah, a very warm welcome to our audience. A very happy Engineers Day to all. And today we are conducting IGNITE-5, which is an entrepreneurship summit. Good evening, everyone. It's an honor itself to honor this beautiful audience who has gathered here. Thank you for joining with us today. I'd like to quickly introduce myself. I'm Mansi Beswar, Organizing Chair of IGNITE-5. I welcome you all on behalf of Cummins College of Engineering for Women, Nagpur. Before I start, I'd like to share a few facts about IEEE. IEEE is a global organization dedicated to foster technological innovation and excellence. and is working for the development of young and brilliant minds for the benefit of the humanity. We are conducting IGNITE-5 in association with IEEE Nagpur subsection, which is the largest subsection in the world. After the successful subsection congress, Cummins College of Engineering for Women Nagpur student branch and Nagpur subsection brings forth IGNITE-5, an entrepreneurship summit, our next flagship event in order to charge up the prolific minds. With over 12 speakers and a chief guest, IGNITE offers you immense opportunity to connect with professionals and young entrepreneurs. IGNITE is a two-day event with diverse topics and speakers from different backgrounds and regions all over the country. I again welcome you all. Thank you for joining with us. Before the launch, let me first acknowledge the presence of some eminent guests. Our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Swati Mujumdar, Dr. Bharat Bhushan Joshi Sir, Principal of Cummins College of Engineering, Mr. Ranjit Singh Sir, Chair of IEEE Nagpur Subsection and MD and CEO of SysLogics Nagpur, Mr. Kuldeep Singh Rana, Secretary of IEEE Nagpur Subsection, Arvind Kumar, Mr. Arvind Kumar, past chair, IEEE Nagpur Subsection. He has also been a key member to develop the Nagpur subsection so far. Dr. Surya Narayan Dula, chair of IEEE Bombay section, Mr. Milind Kukade, chairman of Cummins College of Engineering, Mr. Abhay Singh, Dr. Sarika Chauhan, all the Execom members, our SAT team, principals from other colleges, and members from other IEEE sections. I welcome you all. Thank you for joining with us. Now, we will have a traditional auspicious lamp lighting ceremony by our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Swati Mujumdar, and all the dignitaries. Welcome, ma'am. A very warm welcome to you.
Thank you very much, sir, and all of you for inviting me. And I declare this open and my best wishes for this event.
Yeah. And can we have the lamp lighting ceremony with your due permission?
Yes, of course.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I would like to present you our IGNITE-4 that we had last year. Few clips from that as well. Yeah, so these were the few clips that I had shared from Ignite 4. This is our Ignite 5, and I would like to welcome you all again. Now, I would like to call upon Dr. Bhushan Joshi, sir. He has a mixed experience of more than 32 years in defense, R&D, and defense industry, and in academics at University of Pune, RTMNU Nagpur. Earlier, he was Group Director at ARDE Ministry of Defense and has worked on development of critical mechatronic systems of armaments and weapon systems. Presently, he is principal at Cummins College of Engineering for Women Nagpur, and he is also chairman at IETE Nagpur Center. Sir, I request you to please address our audience. Over to you, sir.
Okay. A very good evening to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Remembering the great visionary Maharshi Dhondo Keshav Karve, our parent Sanstha, Maharshi Sri Shikshan Sanstha at Pune, we are part of that. Cummins College of Engineering was established 10 years ago at Nagpur, and now this is the 10th year we are celebrating with various activities. Well, Maharshi Karve Sri Shikshan Sanstha is one of the oldest here in Maharashtra, and it has got nearly 68 different institutes, right from KG to PG, uh, teaching nearly 30,000 students all over the Maharashtra. Well, Cummins College was funded by Cummins India Foundation, and that is how our name comes. Being only the women's college, we have a lot of different things uh, for us. The most important thing is the most safe and secure campus for the students. And in the last 10 years, we have done good amount of progress where we are the only women's college with mechanical engineering branch and having certain good setups such as ANSYS, Creo 2.0, and other things like LabVIEW, MATLAB for the campus wide. This, I think, is one of the rarest of the things which any other college would be having all in one campus. And our students are making use of it. They're getting placed with very good uh, core engineering companies. Well, but that is not the only thing. The thing happens when our students get geared up and they start organizing things. And that is how, today's event is again conceived and designed and now being executed by our students. That is how the development of a woman happens. And to inspire all of you, today we have with us a very good speaker and a very successful woman, Dr. Swati Muzumdar, supported by our dignitaries, Dr. Surya and Dr. Arvind Kumar and others. Well, I'm sure this event is definitely going to take all of you, all the students, to know something different, something new. Because, when such things happen and you attend to it and you participate in that, it is only then you learn something. Well, I feel little sad because last year we had a very physical meet, and you must have seen those pictures where large number of crowd was there to physically participate in various events, competitions. But this time it is different, and you could even see the difference in the photograph. Last time it was a physical kind of a lamp lighting. This time we are doing it virtually. Well, the things change and we have to change with the new pandemic situation, with the new normals. And I'm sure everybody is learning out of this. So I once again welcome all the dignitaries and all the participants who have registered for this uh, on behalf of Cummins College of Engineering, and hope that you will enjoy these 2 days and take a lot of takeaways from this. Thank you so much. Back to Mansi.
Thank you so much, sir. It was good hearing you. Unfortunately, we couldn't have Ranjit sir with us, chair of IEEE Nagpur subsection and MD and CEO of Syslogics, due to some urgency. So I would like to call upon Mr. Arvind Kumar. He's past chair of IEEE Nagpur subsection and has played a key role in developing Nagpur subsection as whole. Good evening, sir. I welcome you.
Good evening, Manshi, and Honorable Chief Guest of IGNITE, Dr. Swati, and Chairman of Cummins, Shri Milind Kukresar, Principal Dr. Bhushan Joshi sir, and I see a lot of colleagues from IEEE Nagpur subsection, Chairman of IEEE Mumbai section, under which Nagpur subsection fall, Surya, and past chairman of IEEE IEEE Mumbai section, Abhay Fanshekar sir, and there are students, participants, and speakers for IGNITE-5. And it is indeed a proud moment that Nagpur subsection of IEEE is hosting IGNITE in its 5th edition. And the last edition was hosted in Cummins College of Engineering. And I'm pretty sure that it is a proud moment for Cummins College of Engineering for women to host this event for 2 years in a row. The first 3 editions of IGNITE was done in GH Raishoni College of Engineering. So I also see the making of IGNITE-5, Professor Jaya Rao, the SAC co-chair of IEEE Nagpur subsection, and branch counselor of student branch, Cummins College, and then Mansi Bashwar, and organizing chair for IGNITE-5 and student coordinator at Cummins College of Engineering. And they have put a lot of effort for its preparation and seeing that it is successful. I'm pretty sure that there are many volunteers who are working behind to make it successful. And it's a wonderful videos, wonderful promotions. All of what that I saw was quite commendable. I came to know that approximately 500 participants have registered for this event. And if they have all participated, it is going to set another milestone. Nagpur subsection Congress that was organized in the month of January and February, in the beginning of February and end of January, that there we had 400 participants. And it is a great effort. Last time, and I must congratulate the organizers and the host college for achieving these milestones for IEEE Nagpur subsection. So this event is quite dear to me for multiple reasons, and I can just list down one or two. And from the very beginning, it has been focusing on a complete ecosystem for the entrepreneurship. And that's very, very important, because when we talk about the entrepreneurs, it's not just about, and it is not just important to have an idea. It is not just important to have the capital. It is a complete ecosystem and the ability to embrace the risk. And that consists of many, many things and many more activities and hard work that goes in making an entrepreneur successful. And even if there is a failure, there is a lot of lessons to learn. So if all of these are made available, all these ecosystem consisting of the ideas, consisting of the technologies, the platforms, the capital, the marketing, the branding, networking, legal, economic, operational efficiency. So many things are required in the making of an organization, in building the brick by brick, an entrepreneur has to go through its journey. So if all of these are available in plug and play mode, then building everything on their own, that would be a day of cherish and looking forward to in India. As I said, that this event is quite dear to me. I could see uh, many of my colleagues, and Amitanshu Nath is also here from Lucknow. I could see Sandeep Sinde from Tata Disk, and he would be speaking tomorrow. And I could also see Ashutosh, who has set up Your Physio here in Nagpur, and many more that I may or may not be knowing them personally, but I would be willing and I would be looking forward to hearing from all of those great stories. I wish this event all success. Looking forward to hearing from all of you today and tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was great hearing you. Now, I would like to call upon Dr. Suryanarayan Dula. He's chair of IEEE Bombay section, senior member of IEEE, life member of ISLE, Department of Energy Science and Engineering, IIT Bombay. Sir, I welcome you and I request you to address our audience. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. And it's a pride, privilege, and a pleasure to actually be part of the inaugural of this particular Ignite 5.0. I've been keeping a track of the previous Ignites as one of the members of the executive committee of Bombay section. And each year I can actually see the number of events are increasing, and Ignite is actually picking up its pace. So I'm really happy that, in fact, during this COVID, people have decided to continue the event rather than writing it off to the next year. And to be very honest, I really liked the lighting of the lamp activity that was done at the beginning. That clearly shows the commitment of the work of the team who is actually working behind this Ignite. Uh, I'm also very happy to be, as I mentioned, I'm pretty happy to be part of this particular event. And I don't want to really take a lot of time, but I would like to tell one thing, that there are a lot of opportunities in the entrepreneurship space currently. Okay, I think it's up to us to have an idea. If there is an idea, I think there is a funding available in India, and maybe next year, next version of Ignite, we can actually try to invite some delegates from the Government of India Department of Science and Technology, which essentially hosts a lot of entrepreneurship events around the world, and actually they give a lot of funding to various universities and student teams. With this, I would like to wish all the best to all the participants as well as the organizers for this event. Looking forward to attend all the events. Thank you very much. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Joshi sir, Arvind sir, and Dula sir. It has always been great hearing you. Without your support, we couldn't have come up with such an event. Now, I would like to call upon Dr. Swati Mujumdar, our chief guest. I would like to introduce her. Dr. Swati Mujumdar is an international TVET and higher education expert with 20 years plus of professional experience in education. She has been advising the governments and national and international level of policies related matters in higher education, skill development, vocational education, and ODL. She is a policy advisor on skill development and self-financed universities. Under her able leadership, Symbiosis has established two skills universities, namely Symbiosis Skills and Professional University Pune and Symbiosis University of Applied Sciences Indore. With an investment over 80 million US dollars, the two landmark universities are developing skills and competencies in students. We welcome you, ma'am. It's a great pleasure to have you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much for a very warm introduction. First of all, my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Joshi sir and all the staff members of the Cummins College. I also thank uh, all the organizers of this event, members of IEEE, various esteemed panelists for this event. It's indeed my privilege and honor that you invited me to speak at this online seminar. And I hope that many such events are organized. They are the need of the hour, I can say. And I hope that this event encourages other colleges, not only in Nagpur, but all across Maharashtra, to basically celebrate entrepreneurship, celebrate the spirit of entrepreneurship and self-employment, and promotes this spirit in the youth of our state and our nation. With this, I would like to just briefly describe my journey as an entrepreneur, because sometimes people feel that entrepreneurship is only about starting an industry. Well, that's not the case. Entrepreneurship is really in your mind. It's really the ability to take risk. It is also your faith in yourself and your capability, and also your faith in the skills and the passion that you have as a human being. And I think these are some of the driving qualities of entrepreneurs, which all of you youngsters need to inculcate, need to develop, so that you can succeed in whatever be the chosen career path for yourself. Um, Actually, I never thought I would land up in the field of education because I've been trained to be a computer science person. All my life, I took education related to computer science and information technology. And I also worked for 15 years in the US, in the Bay Area, in the Silicon Valley, at a time that Sun came up with something called Java, when Oracle was just blooming, and when Facebook did not even exist. I worked at a time when internet was not really known even in the US. I still remember the first time we had a conference on what kind of protocols that we should develop to exchange packets, and later on it went on to become what is now popularly known as the internet. It was also a time in the US when there were no mobiles. So you can imagine the people of our generation had to wait in queue to even talk to their parents or their close family members in India. At such a time, it was definitely a difficult period. However, economy-wise, US was doing very well. Those were the days of George Bush and Clinton, and lots of job opportunities were there. And in a way, I think that experience taught me a lot and helped me to work very hard in my life, not just in my professional career, but also in my life. Against all odds, the ability to succeed is what I learned most when I worked in the US. After coming back, though, I definitely took up the opportunity to join my father. Not so much because it was a legacy, but so much because I always thought that I wanted to contribute. In a way, I was stable financially in my life, and I thought it's time that I contribute something to the society. And the first institute of symbiosis, which I started looking after, and I am still very much a part of it, is the Symbiosis Center for Distance Learning. And at that time, it just had about 1,200 students. And as God may have willed, I joined that institute, and by God's grace and with the hard work of all my colleagues, we were able to take up the student strength of that distance learning institute way back in early 2000 from 1,200 or 1,500 students to more than 1 lakh students, and not only from all states of India, but also all across the world. We had students from more than 40 different countries, and we went on to become a very reputed, internationally and nationally reputed distance learning institute. That experience was quite an eye opener for me. Imagine an IT professional working in the Silicon Valley, working in the latest technology, coming back to India and seeing people just fiddle around with the computer and doing something with Excel, and having no background of what a software system looks like. It was kind of a shock to me. And I still remember thinking that what am I doing here? After all those years of education, I'm surrounded with people who have no knowledge of software systems and IT and any kind of standard operating procedures. It took me a long time to establish various processes, business processes, then go on to automating those business processes, and then go on to training a bunch of people, human resources, to operate those software systems. Early on, we were one of the pioneers at that time in 2008 to have started online computerized tests, which have now become synchronous with testing. That was something that we did in 2008. We developed the software, we still own the copyright, and more than 8 lakh such online tests were conducted. And I received so much opposition. I still remember AICT and MHRD officials telling me that I was making a big mistake, and they said, maybe Swati, your whole agenda is to pass students. That is why you're going for computerized exams. And I had to convince them after a couple of years of research that computerized tests are actually quite difficult to attempt, because computerized tests are not easy. They are open book tests, and if the quality of questions is all application based, then such tests are actually quite difficult for students to attempt. And in fact, the rate of failure is much higher in computerized tests as compared to a conventional paperback exam. But it took a long time for AICT and MHRD to even understand the benefits of computerized testing, which now they talk as a matter of uh, casual conversation, was indeed a prestige issue back then. So there were many such difficulties which, as a team, we had to overcome. I remember also that I was made the chairperson for a committee of the government of Maharashtra to look at their skill development and vocational education policy somewhere in 2009 and 10. And at that time, nobody had heard of skilling, and people used to look down upon skilled workers. In fact, I still remember at one time I was giving a presentation to the joint board of vice chancellors in Maharashtra, and they actually sarcastically said to me that, Swati, do you want to admit these ITI students into a IIT? Is that what your agenda is? Why are you advocating skills so much? And I told them that because I feel very passionate about people with skills, and I really feel that the future is for people who have skills. It is not just knowledge which is going to take us anywhere. If we really want to succeed in life, be it employment or self-employment, entrepreneurship, we must uh, we must sharpen the skills with which we are born, or develop skills about which we are very passionate. But as it may be, I received a lot of opposition. I still remember giving a 4-hour presentation to the then Chief Minister of Maharashtra. My bill for a public skill university and a vocational education commission was passed by the cabinet. It went to the Nagpur assembly at that point, and it was going to be tabled in the assembly on the very next day. And it was so sad that I received a call in the morning from the then education minister, and he said, you know, the chief minister said we can't take it to the assembly. And I felt so dejected that years and years of my work, as if a thankless job, that I was doing, the Maharashtra government just didn't seem to understand the importance of skill development, for which today people are inviting me to speak about. Back then in 2009-10, nobody understood the importance. Leave alone establishing a skill university, they didn't even understand the importance of skills. And be it as it may, I was quite frustrated. And God willing, after a few days, I got a call from the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh. And he was in Pune trying to attract investors. And he asked me to, set up a skill university. I gave him a presentation. He was quite impressed. And he said, we'll give you the land and can you set up a skill university at Indore, or in fact anywhere in Madhya Pradesh. And that was the first project that Symbiosis took up with an investment of 400 crores. And we set up the first skill university of our country at Indore. And that was a grand success. And after almost 2 years, when Mr. Devendra Fadnavis became the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, he probably found my report somewhere rotting in the files of Mantralaya. And he called me to his bungalow and he said, can you make that presentation again? I want to understand what it is. And he was so kind enough to recognize that this is a great concept. And he encouraged me to set up another skill university at Pune, which is now called as the Symbiosis Skills and Professional University in 2017. Both these universities are still experiments. In fact, in Symbiosis itself took a big risk, investing more than 800 crores in a new concept. But they believed in me, they believed in my capability, and they saw my passion for skill development. And thanks to the Almighty, I was allowed by the trustees to invest that money and set up these two beautiful campuses, where not only students are pursuing degree programs, which are completely skill-based, but there are students from literally all across the state, from poor families, from middle class who cannot even afford normally a Symbiosis degree, which costs so much money. But today they are pursuing free courses in the Symbiosis Skills University. We just launched a batch of 30 girl students coming from economically poor backgrounds for a diploma in manufacturing excellence after 10th. And these girls are doing excellent at the university. They study in the university for 6 months, and for 6 months they get trained in manufacturing excellence at the Fiat plant in Pune. So some of these success stories have been really touching, but at the same time, these stories motivate me, encourage me to do better and to overcome all the difficulties that usually come in such a entrepreneurship or innovative, unique experiment that we have started at Symbiosis. With the blessings of all of those who feel very passionately about skill development and vocational education. And thanks to God, both these universities have succeeded. I won't say that they have reached their maturity or their pinnacle, but I can see that the experiment that we started off 4-5 years back is really being useful to the society, to our country, and people are appreciating such a new concept. And I'm sure that many other people will take risk of coming out with such innovative concepts, not only in engineering, but also in the field of education, in various other fields where there is really a need for innovation. And especially at a skill university, we very strongly promote entrepreneurship. We have set up incubation centers. We provide funds to our students. In fact, you'll be surprised that even our first year students have just won the national award for Smart India Hackathon. They were programming for 30 hours at a stretch, which really goes to prove that skills is something that you really, really need to develop along with knowledge. It is not just good enough to know what is the science behind or the theory behind something. It is more important to know how to apply that, and how whatever you have learned in theory is useful not only to yourself but to the society that you live in, to your country, to your parents. And I think that can be done only if more and more youth go towards entrepreneurship, go towards self employment, and become job givers rather than job seekers. And I think today's conference that you have organized, I must congratulate all of the organizers and Joshi sir and his faculty and the students for even thinking about such a concept. It is so important that more and more students can understand the importance of innovation, entrepreneurship, and more students can really pursue their careers of their dreams. With these words, I once again thank all of you for inviting me and sharing my experiences, small experiences, with all of the audience. And I hope that these stories can inspire many more students to take risks and succeed in life in whatever small or big they choose to become. Thank you once again.
Thank you, madam. If you could tell us something more about, other than passion, what other skills are required for anybody to become an entrepreneur? Just 2, 3 more sentences.
Um, See, first of all, it is the passion. But one more thing which I can say, quality, is determination and perseverance. And the third thing is being extremely meticulous. I think some of these qualities are really important, because without being very meticulous about planning, see, it is your an idea always comes to your mind. Then you have to have the ability to take the risk, and if you feel very passionate, then you want to pursue that idea, and you want to implement it, materialize it, give it some shape and form. But having said that, really what you need to develop is strong project planning skills, because when it comes to implementation, you really need to have the vision to plan an entire project, whatever that project may be. It's not always a construction project that needs project planning. Any kind of project, it may be developing a software system, it may be setting up a university, or it may be setting up your own business. But it is very important for a person to jot down from start to end what are the different activities that you require to do, what are the timelines in which you want to get them done. Having done that, then of course it is your determination and perseverance. Really, so much perseverance is required, because I cannot tell you the number of difficulties that one faces and one will face, whether it is from your own family, from the society, from the government, from the investors, and all the kind of stakeholders that you have. So many difficulties, so many disappointments. But if you are determined, you are confident, and you have perseverance, then I think you can succeed. And it is not from my example. I won't say that I have succeeded, because it will take many years to really say that our universities have become successful. But I have seen that with just about every project, that these are some of the qualities which students and any entrepreneur needs to develop to succeed in whatever it is that they have taken up.
Yeah. Thank you so much, madam, for such a nice oration. And I'm sure all the participants, mostly the students, would have got benefited by this. So nice of you for sparing your valuable time with us. And yes, we also try to do the same thing at Cummins. Our project is something which is very important, and most of the projects we review them ourselves. And I do the review, so that everything is constructed or built in the college. Well, thank you, madam, for joining us.
Thank you.
Mansi, please do the wind up.
Thank you.
Over to Mansi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, thank you, ma'am. Your journey was indeed a very special one. We will surely focus on our skills and sharpen them and not just gain knowledge. We will definitely imbibe your sayings and work on them. I, Mrinmay Deshpande, Vice Chair of IEEE Cummins College of Engineering for Women Student Branch, have the pleasant task of delivering the vote of thanks for the inauguration of IGNITE-5. On behalf of IEEE Cummins College Student Branch, I extend a very hearty vote of thanks to Dr. Swati Muzumdar for sparing her time for us and gracing the function. I take this opportunity to extend our most sincere thanks to all the guest invitees, Dr. Dula, Mr. Arvind Singh, Dr. Sarika Chauhan, Mr. Abhay Singh for their valuable presence. I also thank all the IEEE members of Bombay section, Kerala section, and all the other dignitaries who have joined today's session. Thank you. It was honor having you all. I now request the dignitaries to please turn on their camera to take a picture. It was honor having you all. I now request the dignitaries. We'll just have one. Yes, thank you all. Thank you so much. Now let us proceed for the next session. Over to you, Mansi.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mrinmay. Now we move on to our next speaker, Mr. Amitanshu Nath. He is a practicing clinical hypnotherapist. He deftly uses tools of psychotherapy to work with the clients on the issues on subconscious mind. He is also an NLP practitioner. Prior to coming to the healing space, he served as corporate world as human resource professional for few years in TCS Lucknow. Composer, lyricist, and singer, currently working on his music album, Amitanshu sir also has an artistic side of himself. We welcome you, sir. I request you to please address our participants.
Thank you for kind words, Mansi. I hope I'm audible on that side.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Uh, Thank you, everybody, for inviting me over and having me here as one of.
Little louder.
Okay. Is that better, sir?
Yeah.
All right. So, thank you, everyone, for having me here and giving me this opportunity to speak on the topic of mental health. And there is so much that can actually be spoken about when as a healer and therapist, when I work in the mind space, primarily dealing with thoughts which translate into emotions, then into energies, and then influence, affect our physical body also. The uh, awareness is rising day by day about health becoming a holistic phenomena where it is becoming psychosomatic in nature as in terms of recognition, and mental health is gaining more and more priority and importance by every passing day. So I was thinking about it that I'm getting an opportunity to speak to all of you for about 15 to 20 minutes, followed by a question and answer. So I was thinking how I could probably serve best, um, because there's a lot that can be spoken about, but in that case, I would be kind of reading the menu card. Uh, I thought, let me serve you the dish itself. I thought, let me take you through a visualization exercise, which has been designed in a way to serve the interests of young entrepreneurs. The intent of this exercise is to bring from within one's own self the clarity towards uh, refining their own goals, defining their own goals, of gaining that crystal clear clarity, which helps in moving forward with an integrated focus towards one's uh, desirable achievables. The whole intent of this exercise is to empower each one to move forward in an integrated way and not lose their energies into um, into getting into a dispersed action by way of losing their energies in various dimensions of thoughts and various dimensions of actions. A clear focus, a clear vision, a crystal clear goal, perhaps can be said as one of the prime uh, qualities or one of the prime prerequisites to hold in order to have your own success story. Um, Amongst others like perseverance, hard work, and determination. Before execution, planning is required. Before a manifestation, a thought process takes place. Before physical action, the mental action happens, and in the process of mental action, we deal with um ideas, we focus on visions. And here is this exercise designed towards sharpening your focus and identifying what you would like to achieve. So, since this is an opportunity to speak to all of you over the internet, I would say if at any point of time during this visualization exercise there are technical challenges and we go through a breakdown or the video gets stuck up or my audio is not reachable, do not worry. I have taken care to design this exercise in such a way where this a simple closing the eyes and breathing into yourself and coming back to the present day reality is just good enough to come back in full force and vigor to your present day moment. This is a guided visualization, and for the help of increased focus, I will make use and help of supporting audio. So just hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. One second. All right, so here it is. I would request you all to close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. And with each breath, allow yourself to ground into the present reality, into your physical body. If there are any thoughts or energies which have taken your focus and attention, allow yourself to disengage from those thoughts and bring yourself back into your own presence in this moment. Mentally, ask yourself to relax. With every incoming breath, breathe in a lot of positive energy. And with every outgoing breath, allow yourself to release any stress or tensions from your body or the mind. With every breath, allowing yourself to go deeper and deeper within your own safe space within yourself. With every breath, bringing more and more presence within yourself. And now, visualize or imagine that you are in a room of comfort, a room where you feel comfortable, a room where you have lived in physical reality. Just visualize, or imagine that you're present in the room, feeling comfortable about your own presence in this space. Look around, identify the color of the walls, and once you're established in this room, focus on the door. And outside this door lie immense possibilities of the past and the future. And amongst these possibilities is also one parallel reality, one possibility holding your future, which is yet to be achieved, which is yet to be tapped into. Amongst so many files, so many thoughts, so many ideas, so many experiences, there is the future life personality of you. Start becoming aware of this future life personality who has actually achieved what it wants to achieve. Start becoming aware of the fact that it has been able to translate into reality what that lies in the seed form right now in the heart of your heart. And now, slowly bring your focus back to your current day personality in the room of comfort and take your awareness within. Within yourself, focus and tune into your own instincts, your likings, your desires, and your vision. For a moment, allow yourself to align to what you would want to achieve in life. And now, with this alignment, bring yourself back into the room. And as I count to 3, please invite the future life personality into the room. 1, 2, 3. The door opens and your own future life personality enters into the room. Observe the body language. See how it feels to have succeeded. And most importantly, look into the eyes and establish your connect. Take a moment to connect heart to heart and move forward. As a current day personality, move forward, and if it feels comfortable, hold each other's hand. Close the door. This door, again, on the other side is holding immense possibilities. And as one of the possibilities, it holds a day in the life of this future life personality. Now, I do not know, but your subconscious mind knows that how would it feel to spend such a day. Allow yourself to walk up to the door and don't open the door yet. And when I count to 3, then outside the door will be one such day in the life of future life personality who would be into the thick of activities, doing what you like doing. So 1, 2, 3, open the door and see for yourself. Step into the day and you'll find yourself in the thick of activities, doing exactly what you love to do. Your dream coming into reality. Take a mental note. What is it exactly that you're doing? Take note of the fact that what is that resource that was needed of you that has brought you here? Take a mental note of the key points in this journey. See how is it exactly that you're contributing to your world? What is it that you're serving your world with in the ways of your contribution? Take a mental note and identify. Identify your biggest resource. And now, slowly start coming back to the room of comfort. And as you do that, close the door behind so that in the room of comfort is the current personality and the future life personality together. Once again, as the current personality, look into the eyes of your future life personality. If it so feels like, convey your gratitude. And see for yourself if the future life personality feels happy, if the future life personality feels comfortable and at ease about being in this space. If your instincts tell you that there is something amiss, just let your future life personality know that you're welcome to heal in my space, in my presence, and once you feel healed, feel free to become part and parcel of me with the help of integration. However, if it feels that the future life personality is already shining in its own light, in its own exuberance and brilliance, it would be a good idea to actually integrate this future life personality into yourself. And to do that, simply embrace it into a hug and energetically let it become one with yourself. And as this integration happens, notice the shift within yourself and give it some time. Let the shift take place internally. This will give you alignment. This will become your guiding voice day to day at every juncture here and there so that you keep getting alignment to your goal. This will help you align better in your movement towards your destination. And as you begin to feel comfortable about yourself, start becoming aware of the fact that you're listening to the sound of my voice here with the help of this webinar. Gradually, start becoming aware of your physical surroundings. Start becoming aware of your physical body. Bring your focus and attention to the closed eyelids and mentally repeat, let all the bodies and personalities that belong to me integrate with my physical body right now. Let all the bodies and personalities that belong to me integrate with my physical body right now. Integrate, integrate, balance. And gently open your eyes to the here and now. Clench your fingers, clench your fists, move your toes. Take a few moments if you feel like to write down anything that you have just processed within yourself that you'd like to take a mental note of. Take a few moments if you feel like to be in your own space. Feel free to have a glass of water. If it feels like, get up from your chair, walk a couple of steps, and come back and sit here. With this, I come to the closure of the visualization exercise. And let me take this opportunity to tell you about the purpose and intent was not to commit you to one idea that you will not be able to, at any point of time, undo. No. This is to share that you are the author of your own life and you write your own destiny. This exercise was meant towards identifying what you would like to bloom into with the seeds that are already present within. This exercise was towards getting a focus and concentration in place so that you have an integrated movement, so that you don't lose on opportunities, you don't waste time. You keep yourself in forward movement with vigor, with the capacity to make things happen. And I will take the example of the classical experiment that we've gone through in childhood, where we take the magnifying glass and let the sun rays pass through it on a piece of paper. Only by the sheer focus, all the sunlight that was falling otherwise, that may have gone dispersed, now become concentrated on one point. That sheer focus and integration on that one single point is capable of burning that piece of paper in a very short time. A sharp focus helps us achieve our goals in the minimum time. It helps us in utilizing the resources in the best of ways. With this, I come to question and answers. If there are any question and answers related to this, for sure there is much that can be spoken in the space of mental health. However, in order to keep myself focused in terms of delivery, let me come to question and answers.
Thank you, sir. That was an amazing experience. It surely helped us understand a bit more about ourselves. Well, any event like this is incomplete without a cultural twist. So I request Mr. Amitanshu Nath to sing a song in his melodious voice. Then we'll come up with our question and answers.
All right. Point taken. Thank you so much, Mansi. I'll need a little bit of your feedback. Let me connect to the audio. This all right. Had it been a live event, perhaps I would have requested my band to be along with. But here in COVID times, we have our own different ways of making music and sharing music. So here it is. Thank you again for giving me this opportunity to share this with you. And Mansi, just help me again um, if you can give me the permission to share. Okay. So, all right. Please let me know if this is audible, Mansi.
Yes, sir.
Is it?
Yeah, it is audible.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for patience. We begin.
क्या कहूँ मेरा जो हाल है, रात दिन तुम्हारा ख्याल है। क्या कहूँ मेरा जो हाल है, रात दिन तुम्हारा ख्याल है। जाने जा तुम कहाँ और मैं कहाँ, सानू एक पल चैन ना आवे, सानू एक पल चैन ना आवे, सजना तेरे बिना, सजना तेरे बिना। साडा कल्लिया जी नहीं लगदा, साडा कल्लिया जी नहीं लगदा, सजना तेरे बिना, सजना तेरे बिना, सजना तेरे बिना। सानू एक पल चैन ना आवे, सानू एक पल चैन ना आवे, सजना तेरे बिना, सजना तेरे बिना। गजब का है दिन सोचो जरा, ये दीवानापन देखो जरा। भी अकेले तुम भी अकेले मजा आ रहा है।
Fantastic,
Thank
Kamitanji.
you, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you.
That was wonderful, sir. Your voice has made this place, this evening, really musical. Your singing depicted the lyrics too well to describe. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Mansi.
So there was one question from our audience. I would
Yes.
like to share that with you.
Yes.
So our audience wants to know, like many a times while doing multitasking, we observe some behavioral changes in ourselves. So, sir, what is your take on this? Like, how can we deal with it?
Okay. Um, it would have helped to understand what kind of behavioral changes, yet um, if I am understanding the question correctly, then it is possible that while performing different tasks, we wear different hats. And in doing so, it's like saying that you are in the driving seat, but you have other parts of you who are co-passengers. And as on need basis, different passengers, they swap seats with the one in charge of driving. However, um, it would be a good idea to have actually your adult presence or one integrated personality in place, which keeps coordinating between all the co-passengers and keeps understanding the different needs and expressions of each of your subpersonality and other parts. Um, an example of that would be that it becomes easy if we have a dialogue and conversation with the co-passengers and bring peace to them by saying that yes, I hear you, I understand you, and I'll take care of your concern. And in your mind, prioritize and have the action items placed accordingly. Say, for example, if you start your day with a to-do list with 6 things to do, you might feel dispersed, or your energy is dispersed in all the activities, unless you have actually prioritized that I will address this after this, and I will take care of this one after this one. And having that kind of a mental dialogue helps to get back your integrity and focused movement. Otherwise, one part of you and one item in the to do keeps draining your energies, that I need focus and I need attention. And that kind of sometimes gives a sense of irritation and sense of irritability to somebody, because they feel continuously pressed on not being able to meet the goals, even though they are walking towards completing some item of the to-do list. So the trick here would be to have a dialogue with yourself and prioritize, and just mentally speak to yourself that I'll address this and later the other. This seems to have helped in such situations so far. So that would be my recommendation and advice.
Yes, sir. So it was a very wonderful event from your side. So like we are short of time, we are already lagging a lot. So we'll switch over to our next event. Now I would like Vanshika to please conduct the further events. Thank you so much, sir. It has been great having you.
Thank you so
You
much.
have
Thank
a
you, everybody.
wonderful voice.
I sincerely hope that there was some justice to your time and focus and attention. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We look forward to have you once more for a musical event. So now we move ahead to our next event, that is success and failure stories. So I would like Vanshika to be our host.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Webmaster of IEEE Student Branch of Cummins College of Engineering for Women, Nagpur, and your host for the event called Success and Failure Stories by some young entrepreneurs. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our speakers tonight, who are going to talk to us about the success and failure stories and share their journey as an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship can be a tough path and a long, grueling one. Littered with false starts and failures, it tends to trigger a roller coaster of emotions like excitement, despair, determination, and confusion, just to name a few. Because it's so rarely linear, the thing that it requires more than anything is stamina. You've got to be able to keep going, even if you don't feel like, and draw on deep reserves of energy to go to the distance. Similar experiences have been experienced by our today's speakers as well. Dear audience, you can put your questions in the comment section below as the session continues. It is preferred if you can mention to which speaker the question is directed to. Selected questions will be put forward to the respective speaker in the Q&A session, which is scheduled at the end after the speakers have commenced their talks. Without any further delay, I would like to call upon Mr. Swanand Kadam, who is a social entrepreneur and lead architect at Kalam, which is the first ever programming language in Hindi. He is also a writer on platforms like Quora and Medium and a YouTube video creator. We cordially welcome you, sir. Over to you.
Evanshika, am I audible? Just give me the confirmation. Hello.
Yes, sir, you're very much audible.
Okay, just give me a second.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, okay. Hey everyone, I hope you all are doing well. So, thank you for attending the event, and a big thank you to IEEE and Cummins College for our organizing IGNITE-5. Happy to be a part of this event. So, I know the time has already been by, so I will try to keep my talk simple and short. Just 1 year ago, I was also a student. Entrepreneurship was something that I wasn't even thinking about, but things change so quickly. Either you adapt yourself to it or let external things control you. So basically, once you find a problem and dedicate your every second to solve that problem, you are in the world of entrepreneurship. There are various challenges like making yourself sustainable, consistently improving your product, understanding the end user, and keeping yourself calm and composed in every problem. Things are very unpredictable here, and that's its beauty too. So, who am I and what I actually do? I'm Swanand Kadam, 23 years old from Pune. I'm the creator and lead architect of Kalam. So, what is Kalam? Kalam is first ever online programming language in Hindi. It has all the basic functionalities of a modern programming language, such as loops, conditional statements, functions, data manipulation, and others. I will primarily talk about what Kalam is because that's where I have spent most of my time, how to use it, where to access it, and our future plans. But why Kalam? Why do we need any programming language made specifically for India? Now, that's a really fundamental question, and I genuinely want to look at it through an Indian's perspective. Uh, so many of us belong to a good college in metro city. We see the world in a different way. We are aware of the latest technology. We are actively hearing about startup culture. So that kind of puts all of us in the context of technically aware society. But we also know for a fact that how software industry is powering the world. Anywhere you go, you see an app getting launched. Businesses are coming online. There are new breakthroughs in AI research, and just like today's world is completely different from the world 5 years ago, the present world is no match for the world that will be 5 years later. So, this progression of our society is accelerated by the technology. You can't afford to miss it, especially when you are an engineer by yourself. We can't deny that programming is the skill of the future. Maybe in 20 years, programs will be as necessary as learning to read and write. So, something as important as programming must be known by mostly all students of India. Is that the case? You might say yes, considering everyone in your class, college, or city knows about it. But the majority of the students doesn't exist in metro cities. They belong to tier 2 and tier 3 cities of India, the semi-urban parts of India. So what I want you to do is just try to be in the place of a 16-year-old kid who goes to the school in its village versus a 16-year-old kid who goes to the school in its city. There is a huge difference in what they know about the world, future possibilities, and digital awareness, especially. So even though they might be equally talented, they will end up in completely two different spectrums. Why? Primarily because of a lack of resources, unawareness amongst the teachers, and completely unknown about the possible career choices. So, learning programming is a skill that can put you on a global map right away. If you know how to build things, the sky is the limit. But for that, you need to know what programming language actually is, what programming actually is, right? So uh, I have talked to numerous directors at coaching classes, schools, and colleges from tier to entire city. My hometown is actually, I'm from a village, so basically I know how everything goes up in that kind of areas. And one thing I constantly heard was that they said, nor we know what programming is, and neither our teachers know about it, and that's why we are not even interested about it. So you can imagine where a student stands in all of this. So now, suppose even if the student knows what is the barrier to entry in programming, first you need to know English. If you don't know it, you can forget about it. You need to have a laptop. You then have to install IDEs to start programming, and this might seem extremely easy for us, but for that 16-year-old kid from the village, this is very difficult thing to do. So what they do, they usually postpone learning programming because they have to learn English, they have to buy laptops, and you never know how much years it's going to take. And they have that creative potential in that age specifically, and once the interest is gone, it can be gone forever. uh, we in our country have an enormous amount of untapped talent in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, ready to build things through their creativity and imagination, but there are actually zero tools for them to do so. Now the gap has become so huge that it almost feels like this technology and programming things is alien to them. And this is the main reason why I started working on Kalam, to allow these students to put a step in the bigger picture without having to worry about language barrier, or even in the case buying technology stuff like laptops and all that. So I started working on Kalam in March 2020, and creating Kalam has been the most learning and fun experience of my life. There were some problems like I was like, this is that I can't solve this particular problem. I don't know what algorithm to apply, and maybe 2 days more, and I might just quit this project. So turn out in such cases, instead of rigorously pushing yourself toward the solution, taking a good sleep will do the trick. Just taking small rest, that is just somehow, I don't know, that's kind of magic, but that actually does the job, and that's something I have experienced uh, consistently, not just in working on Kalam, but in other projects as well. So problems exist because solutions exist. How you go through that process is completely your choice. I would say, as long as you are enjoying what you're doing, every problem is actually an opportunity to grow. So it's been now 5 to 6 months. So where does the Kalam stand now? Kalam is actually live with version 1.0.0. You don't have to install anything, just visit kalam.io and you will be good to go. Since version 1.0, many things still need to be figured out, but you can start doing general programming in Kalam without any issues. Uh, Kalam.io has a good documentation page, and it will help you to understand what are the things you can do with the Kalam. Also, there are about 15 to 20 examples ranging in the category from basic to intermediate to advanced. Please do check that out and see for yourself what Kalam can do. Now, Kalam being a new language still needs to improve on a lot of things. It will take a good amount of time to make Kalam a mainstream language as Python or JavaScript. We don't want to compete with such languages anyway. Rather, Kalam will be made in such way that it will help you to build things specifically for India. I'm thinking about visual programming as the best option, but still, as I said, many things need to be figured out first. So that's why we are focusing on making it useful for educational purposes to teach students. There are no prerequisites, as students can code in their native language. So right now Kalam supports Hindi, Marathi, and obviously English. You can use English if you want to. So where Kalam can be used, it can be used by schools, colleges, educational companies as a tool to teach non-English students coding in their native language. The best thing about Kalam is it comes with two modes pre-installed. There is one mode called practice mode and another is learning mode. So practice mode is basically where you just jump in, start writing your code, and you will directly see the output, like what's happening, like simple level ID. Now, learning mode is more interesting as it shows you visually how its own compiler executes the code line by line. Plus, it will output what the compiler exactly did when it ran the particular statement. It's pretty dope. You should check that out. And it will not show the output in like technical words. It will be more like a proper Hindi statement. Okay, so you did this, so that's why we did this. So like it's a very constant feedback process in that learning mode. So that's about Kalam, how it works and its features. What are the possibilities with Kalam? Kalam for now, as I said, can be used for educational purposes. We are already in talks with both online and offline schools across India to help them leverage Kalam.io as a platform to teach programming. In the future, students will be able to build things using Kalam, and that's for sure, because I really want Kalam to have a particular purpose. So yeah, this is the state of Kalam right now. Right now, we are conducting 1v1 sessions with students for getting their feedback on Kalam, and through their feedback, Kalam is constantly getting improved. I highly encourage all of you to visit kalam.io, share your feedback on the Kalam project. I'm mainly active on LinkedIn, so you can drop your questions to be there, even if you want to know technical things like how compiler works and all that, if you are interested in that. So what I have learned while working on Kalam, I think ultimately everything comes down to how you approach problems. Every one of us faces problem. There is no doubt about it. If you are not facing problem, there is no way you can grow. One strategy I use every day to tackle my problems is divide and conquer strategy. You don't have to try to do everything in one day. You might have the motivation to do it, but not the ability. So it's something like you are very pumped, you want to do 100 push-ups, but seriously, you don't have that ability to do 100 push-ups. You gotta be smart at this position. You just can't let your emotions take over you. So divide and conquer is a step-by-step approach in which you break down the problems in small chunks and solve them independently. It's an effective thing because you make efficient use of your resources, and it will not burn you out while you're in the process. Try it, you will definitely see the difference in the results you are getting. So yeah, that's for it. And by the way, Kalam will be open source soon, so everyone from all over the India, the top developers, can start contributing to making the compiler a better thing. Plus it will also have a cross platform support on every possible platform right now. So let's see. I will keep you guys updated on LinkedIn if you want to follow me there, or and please do visit kalam.io to see what we are trying to do and all that. So thank you so much for your time, guys, and thank you Ignite 5 team, especially Mansi and Nupur. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Take care and stay safe. Over to you, Vanchika.
Thank you very much, Swanan. That was really amazing. It's really admirable how you always see through projects from conception to completion. And majority participants from here being from the field of engineering and computer science. We have a lot to imbibe from your story. It seems Kalam has been a unique and exciting journey for you. Your journey has been amazing so far. We wish you luck and great journey ahead. Thank you, sir, for sharing your journey with us.
Thank you.
Now, I call upon Mr. Ashutosh, who is the co-founder of your physio, which is a physiotherapy centers, and he's also a graduate from BITS Pilani. We welcome you, sir. Over to you.
Hello. Hello. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are very much audible.
Yeah. Hi. Ajay, can you just allow me to share the screen? I have a presentation to show.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Hi everyone. Good evening. First of all, thank you for this opportunity. I very strongly believe that every lock has its own key. So what might work for me might not work for you. So if just even in the same case, just listen to this as a story. Okay, what I'll do is I'll share my learnings and the story along the way. If you find something useful, take it. If you don't, just take it as a story, and that's it. So let's go back to the college. Time a lot of people have been gone, a lot of you have gone through. So 2012 is when I went to BITS. First semester, going from Nagpur to BITS Pilani, everyone thought, I'll do great. I scored a 5-pointer. I barely scraped through the subjects. The second, and ironically, it's Engineers Day today. and I still can't understand. I am an electronics engineer by profession, still can't understand what the second diagram is. And something that very much I ended up contemplating on was what to do in life. So I was always fascinated by the fact that, you know, you want to go to a good college, but why do you want to go to a college? What do you want to do? Those are things that always intrigued me. Now cut to today, 2020. So today we run Your Physio. So Your Physio is a healthcare organization where we initially started up with setting up physical physiotherapy centers. We run 4 centers in Nagpur. Along with that, COVID, and I'll share the story of that as well, opened up opportunities in the time of adversity in terms of telehealth. So now we do telephysiotherapy across the country. So I just take you through the journey, and I believe that first very common thing why a lot of us become engineers is because of these options, right? You hate biology, or either you're good at math, or some of your relative read that okay, there's 1 crore package some random guy in IIT got. Your father wanted you to be an engineer, or some school friend was doing it, and you said, okay, why not? Let's just do the same thing. So basically, majority of us here are not engineers by choice, and we are engineers by chance. Now, journey of a startup, I believe, is very similar to a journey of a human. So how from the stage a person is born to slowly as they gradually evolve, that's how the journey is. And this person is the startup, and I want to actually take you through the journey prior to this. So what happens before this, the startup is born? So first stage, and because all of you are students, I guess nothing, even if you don't take it as a startup advice, you could just take it as some random dating advice. So the first stage which I like to say is the entrepreneurship dating. So this is the stage where everybody sees news articles, papers, this XYZ startup raised $100 million, this entrepreneur made so much money, and that's when you have that flair. A lot of people have that motivation. Oh, I want to be my own boss, and that's why people start taking entrepreneurship. So very common, typical motivation that people have, that why do you want to do entrepreneurship? Be my own boss, get rich quick, make people happy, build products, build famous. So that's all that people start up with. And I would say that if these are the factors, then these are really not the right factors for you to start up, because I'll tell you the ground reality of doing this, and is typically when you say you are your own boss, that means that you are working 24/7, 365. There is no Sunday, there is no vacation, there is no concept of where the work ends and your rest of life starts. Get rich quick, believe me, there will be years and years that you would be unpaid. You would be the last one to take money from your organization, because you would be like, what if I reinvest that same into the startup and help it grow further? Making people happy, that's one of the very, very biggest myths, because you are always making somebody unhappy. You would have to take difficult decisions. It might be laying people off, it might be promoting someone where the other person becomes unhappy. So it's continuously about making unpopular decisions, but which are right for the organization. Building products. So you end up managing, ensuring that the show is running properly is also a very important part. You end up doing, and being famous. Again, this is something people have a very strong feeling about QOC. You had Your Story article, newspaper article came, Business World article came, but it's really, really lonely at the top. The idea obviously is not to discourage you guys from starting up, but to ensure that you have the right motivations. That you don't just start up for what you see from far and off. These reasons are very superficial, typically, for which people typically end up starting, but then this is not what the ground reality is. So what is the takeaway from this? First, that it has to be a choice, and a conscious one. You should do it because you want to do it. You should not just do it because you think it will give you money, it will give you fame, it will be cool because your friend is doing, right? It is a choice. And because once you make it as a choice, you will stick by it, because there are going to be plenty of bad times. And when there is a bad time, then that time you think, right? Because if you started it saying, I make a lot of money, and 3 years are gone and you have not made a single rupee, what will you think? You will say, okay, let me leave, let me give CAT and do an MBA. But if you have started off with something much more concrete, you will stick by it even during the difficult times. So once you've dated, then what starts? And that's the typical you experiment. So once you start, okay, now let me do this, and you've got a ground. So second is where you need to get your hands dirty. So there are a lot of people who will sit retrospectively tell stories. Hey, I had thought of this idea, about cab, and see now it's $1 billion idea. Shit, I missed that idea. Now, the point is, ideas are dime a dozen. It is nobody's property, right? End of the day, what matters is, did you go out there? Something that, you know, a lot of people in our country do is armchair activism. Similarly, there is armchair entrepreneurship. People will, you know, talk about ideas, discuss ideas, debate ideas. End of the day, go and build nothing. That's just a weekend chill that they do, and then go back and do what they were doing earlier. So it is very important that you go get your hands dirty, build something. You measure it and you learn from it. And this is a continuous cycle. This is a never-ending cycle where you iterate. You learn, you modify what you've built, then you again measure, is it having the intended impact, and then you learn from it. Until you don't get your hands dirty, okay, it is not going to result into anything. And something from the student perspective that I want to say, and something that I've experienced in my life, is a very simple attitude you have. You don't say no to opportunities. And there's a really beautiful movie, if you guys have not seen it, you should go and check out, called as The Yes Man. And the whole premise is the same. There's this guy who's, you know, just going on with the life, and one day decide that he'll say yes to every opportunity. And then just to see where life takes you. So saying yes to opportunities, that's something I think very important, at least in the beginning phases, where that can open multiple doors for you. That can be multiple ways, right? A friend who's doing something, does he need help? You do it. Is there some startup who's looking for an intern? You do it. You know, some side project that could be that you wanted to work on, do it. Don't, you know, just try to think of, okay, what will I get out of this? Will it look good on my resume? How much money I am getting because of this? I believe in the early days, it is really, really important, specifically given the fact that how our, you know, education system is, we are not exposed to the whole world of opportunities. Because if you adopt this attitude, specifically in your educational college years, I believe you will have tremendous opportunities. And then, as you know, Steve Jobs said, you can only connect the dots looking backwards. So first you have to, you know, do multiple things, see what works, what you really like. Maybe you have not even stumbled upon something that really excites you. So that will only come when you start saying yes to opportunities and not worry too much about how, you know, what will be the impact of this on my resume, how much money I'm getting out of this. Second takeaway is never settle. So don't, you know, people will say, nahin, this is a logical thing to do, this is a rational thing to do. But if you really believe that, no, you've still not found something, you want to explore further, do it, you know, just do it. Don't listen to people that way. I did, if you remember, 5 internships in my 4 years of college. Okay, 6 internships, of which 5 of them were in startups, 1 was in a big organization. And the idea was to, you know, iterate and experiment and realize, and then figure out. One thing that, you know, a lot of people did earlier was by elimination, right? So why not you increase your sample size? You do many more things. So even if you don't know what you want to do, you at least have a set of things that you're sure you don't want to do. So I believe that's also an approach if you are not very sure about what you want to do. That's the second takeaway, you don't settle. So now you've dated, you've experimented with different ideas, dabbled with ideas, got your hands dirty. Second, the stage 3 is where you marry the idea. Now, still see, the startup is not yet born, you're still at the idea stage. And why is marrying the idea? Because this is where you have to commit. Marriage is where you commit yourself to it. And there's one quote that I really like, that the only way to jump off a cliff is to jump. You can do all talk, all analysis, business models on paper, but end of the day, you have to go and you have to do it. And then you have to commit that, okay, this is something that I am going to do, and I'm going to do it for a substantial time. You have to commit time to that thing. So for example, when I came back, and I'll take you through that. So, okay, let's first talk this. So 2016, right? So that is where I ended up my college. And it was simple that, I wanted to start up. That's what I've been thinking since second year of college. But then here was opportunity. On one side, I had this consulting job. And on the other side, I had this thing that, okay, I wanted to do something in my life. So what do you choose? Do you take up that 7-figure job and let's say, okay, I'll do the idea later? Or you do what you have been saying during the years that, okay, I really, really want to do this. And your actions will speak much, much louder than your words. So for example, for me, it was a very, one of the very big dilemmas of after doing engineering from BITS, whether do I come back to Nagpur or do I go to metros? 99% of my batch is, working in metros, even those people who were starting up kind of doing that in metro. So do I come back? Now the idea was less of an emotional one, but more of a strategic one, given the fact that I wanted to work in healthcare, and it made much more sense to come back here and experiment and get the idea right. But then this is just one of the examples of commitment. But are you willing to cut off? So for example, for a 22-year-old, right, you would want your social circle, friends, enjoy, hang out, all that you have to let go. Because when you come back, so for someone like me, when I came back to Nagpur, I did not have anyone of my age, right? The nearest people that I was, for example, engaging with were 20, 25 years elder to me. But then you do it because you have deep, deep conviction into what you are doing. And that is really, really important. And if you don't have conviction and say that, okay, I am going to give it substantial time. So when I came, I had a very clear idea that I will give this 3 years. If this doesn't pan out at all in 3 years, that's when I look at plan B. Till that time, I don't look at plan B. I'll not be like, okay, side mein CAT ka form bhi bhar deta hu, ek koi entrance exam bhi de deta hu. It does not work because there will be bad times. Let me make it clear again and again. There will be bad times. If you have a plan B, you will run away. So the only way to do this is you be committed for at least a specific amount of time, and then you can maybe look back 3 years down the line. That's what I did. 2019, I looked back, I said, okay, have I not accomplished anything in 3 years, or this is good enough validation for me to continue? And then it was a very obvious answer. But there have been multiple times during this journey, if I would have thought, chalo yaar, kuch aur kar lete, I would not be here today. So the third takeaway is go big or go home. If you have dabbled, if you have talked, if you say that you really, really want to do it, there is no excuse for it. And because you're doing it for your own, right? It's a conscious choice you have taken. Then you have to stick by that choice. So now, when you've married, your idea is where the startup pregnancy. Now, this is where the startup now starts to form. Till here, the startup actually is not even into existence, right? This is where I call what is the theory versus the practicality. So everybody tells oh, come have an idea, develop a cool app for it, and then what? Then it will start raining money and start raining customers. That is what everybody tells us. That is the theory of how startup functions. But there's a very, very small aspect that people don't tell, which is the fourth part, which is there is an aspect of acceptance. So even if you implement it, it will take time for people to accept the solution. So for example, when we are doing telephysiotherapy, online physiotherapy, which is traditionally a very physically seen model, it will take time for people to accept that, and you have to put in that extra effort and not give up saying, "Arey yaar, maine to itna cool product banaya, ye to problem solve kar raha hai. Why are not people buying it? Why are not people lining for it?" Because very honestly, people don't care. People do not buy products; they buy solution to their problems. And at times you will see that this is solving their problems. Still, they are not, using it because behavioral change. That is a very, very, very big thing. And if you see, if it takes X amount of time for you to ideate, it takes 2x amount of time to develop, 3x to implement, it will take 10x for acceptance of that to come. Anything that you do that is challenging the status quo, that is, bringing in a paradigm shift, will take time for acceptance. So you have to persevere. You cannot just give up. Okay, so takeaway 4 here is that it's a marathon, not a sprint. So you have to be of that mindset. You can't be like, let's work 14 hours a day, let's work, and then you burn out in 6 months. And then you're like, now I can't do anything. You have to work hard, you have to work consistently, but you have to ensure that you have the stamina to go in for the long run. Are you willing to put the next 10, 20, 50 years of life? I think Jack Ma said this, that for him, what he wanted to do is willing to put next 50 years of his life on this. Now think from that way. Now at the time when people are not even willing to commit 2 years of their life to a job and say, I want to switch. Do you have that much conviction that you are willing to commit next 50 years of your life to this specific idea? Do you believe in that and yourself, in the problem you are solving that much? And then are you building your stamina for that? And it will require not just intellectual stamina, it will require a lot of emotional stamina, it will require physical stamina. Your body should help you, your emotions should be there in the right place, you should be mentally in the right place. So that's the takeaway. Now finally after all this, a startup is born. And once you have gone through all this journey, is when the startup is born, and then come the challenges of building the startup. Okay, so first will be that you have to find the right people. And again, that's one very, very big challenge, because once you've gone through all this, you're like, yes, I am good, I can do all this. And then you immediately realize the game has changed. It's like you're playing a game at level 1 and now it's level 2. And level 2 is completely different. Level 2 is getting work done from people. right? Managing team, managing their expectations, managing their emotions. So first you were just still figuring out how do you manage yourself, and now you are here hiring people, recruiting people, training people, even at times firing people. And none of this, interestingly, is taught at any of our curriculums, right? You will not have a curriculum where they will tell you that, okay, how do you gauge the right candidate? How do you hire people? Because it is insane. You cannot judge a person in 30 minutes interview. It is impossible if somebody says they can do that. So finding the right people for that role at a time where even the roles are changing, at a time where the company is so fast changing that a role that was there maybe 6 months back does not even exist at this point of time. Because if you aren't flexible with time enough, your company will not survive. So for the company to survive, you have to maybe be flexible with the ideas, with the work that you're doing, and the people have to be willing to be flexible. So this is one of the challenges that is there. Second thing, and again, I'm sharing these points from the entrepreneur side, is FOMO. And a lot of millennial guys will know this term, right? Fear of missing out. And it is true. And I believe it is important that people acknowledge. While on the one hand, you would see these stories and the media publications and everything. On the other hand, you will have, as an entrepreneur, continuously this feeling that you will go into self-doubt. You will ask yourself, when you see that friend who got an MBA from an IIM, your other friend who got cleared the UPSC exam, and then you're like, what am I doing? It's been 3 years. I just have, built something, have a few customers. Maybe I'm not even doing something as good as I would have done if I've taken a job. So you will have fear of missing out, but that is a thing you acknowledge, but then you move on to that. The third, and which is a very important thing, is the emotional roller coaster which I was talking about. So you have this constant feeling, as an entrepreneur, you have days when you feel I'm a winner. I will win the world and solve the problem. Nobody can stop me. And then you have days you feel I am completely useless. Why am I doing this? Why do I even deserve the people who are working for me? I am completely worthless. So it's a continuous sinusoid that you go between. But what is important is, as time progresses, and you have to ensure that your amplitude of fluctuation decreases, and you just keep your head down and work. So this is a graph that's really, really close to me, and I personally aspire to be that over a period of time, neither great success will make you very elated, nor failure will make you extremely depressed. And whatever happens, you just stick to it and you keep doing your work again and again and again. So takeaway 5 from here is that you need to learn to love the journey. Because if you have some imaginary metric that, okay, I will be happy if our company social media has 10,000 followers, if I raise 1 round of funding, if my photo comes into this, I give a television interview, I sell a startup for this amount, does not work, because there will always be new metrics. Once you reach, the moment you reach that metric is useless. You have a next metric waiting for you. So what really matters is, do you enjoy the high? Have you learned to love the journey, whether it is that high, whether it is that low? Even at the worst days of despair or at the highest days of success, are you loving the journey equally? So coming to that current stage, and I'll share also currently where we are as your physio, right? And now we are we are at the infant stage, okay? First steps of the baby, where a few things, the baby, he's maybe walking, he's making some sound. That is the stage that we're at. What we have right now is we have 4 clinics in Nagpur, so that we have built over the last 4 years. And I said interestingly, so we started with this idea that we would build physiotherapy clinics and provide consistent quality physiotherapy care across the country. And things were going good. We set up 4 centers, and then we were going to pilot with a really big hospital on 1st April 2020. And then what happened? Then COVID struck, right? Physiotherapy is a very high touch, intense domain, and we realized that this is going to get affected for a long time. So we had 2 choices, and we were like, okay, now do we let this go? Do we build something else? Or just be adamant about it as well? So for a smart person, it's really to understand that when do you also not be adamant and be willing to pivot. And that's when we realized, okay, this would open up the opportunity for digital health in the country. People would, and we are seeing the adoption of video calling go through the roof. People are so comfortable doing video calls. So we said, can we not do virtual healthcare? Can we provide telephysiotherapy online? And I am very proud proud to share this, that within the last 5 months, we to the northern part of the country to the extreme southern parts, we've been able to reach people across, sitting in Nagpur here with our physios who are again spread across the country. Over 2,500 treatment sessions we have done, okay, of physiotherapy. And these people, some of them who were not able to walk, had severe back pain, could not sit. Now those people have got rid of their pain while they were stuck at home. They did not have to go anywhere, saved on all their travel, time, effort, cost. And these physios as well could sit from their home. So we had physiotherapists who are like a small 9-month baby, 1-year baby. So they can't go for work continuously out. So they take a few sessions, then take a break, then take a session. So they have that level of flexibility. So that's a really, now you can say retrospectively after 5 months that, oh, this is a really beautiful model. But when we were there at that time, that's a really, really new thing that we started. Almost 3 years of what we had done was kind of, decimated, and we had to start afresh. So what keeps us going, right? So you realize, I think by this point of time, that this is not a very linear journey. This is a roller coaster of ride. And there's something interesting that I want to share regarding this. That is, people studied happiness, right? And people ask questions, what is your goal in life? And people said different answers. Somebody said, I want to grow a company. Somebody said, get a job, have a boyfriend, girlfriend, be healthy. So people started digging down, okay, why? So, and I want all of you to do this exercise, think what is your goal in life? And then you ask yourself, why is that? So if growing company is there, then why? Somebody would say, I want to retire early. Then you ask yourself why. So when they did this, and you will go 5 to 6 layers deeper into why do you want to do something, and it all boils down to happiness. So everybody in the end wants to be happy. They have different definitions of being happy, but that is why they're pursuing different things. So people studied happiness, right? And just like everything, there is science of happiness also. And there are these 3 P's. I would just like to leave you with this. So the 3 P's of happiness, typically the first one is happiness of profits. So, you get happy if you hit a particular number, you make money, and you're sad if you don't do that. The second is the happiness of passion, that you are really happy when you do something that you're passionate about. And a lot is said about passion, just be passionate about something and then think will be good. People say, Coach, like, oh, find something that excites you and then you will never have to work again in your life. I honestly feel that all is, very overestimated. The third P is the happiness of purpose. Okay. So, I'm sorry, there's some glitch with the slide, but the third P is the happiness of purpose. And so the graph to the right you see is the time that the happiness is sustained. So the happiness of profit is sustained for the smallest time. You don't hit the number, you get sad. For passion, as long as you're engaged in the work, you're enjoying, you're happy. But the third is the happiness of passion. So purpose. So if you're doing something that is much, much bigger than you, okay, it's not just about you, but people much more than you. That's when even when your day is bad, you are not feeling like working it. You will remember that this is not just about you. This is not about your job, your work, right? The money that you get from it, the recognition you get from it. It is you are doing something for people much, much bigger than yourself. And that is the happiness that gets sustained the most. So for example, for us, it is the 390 million people in India that have different, physiotherapy related pains and problems. So our purpose is, can we take physiotherapy to the homes of these 390 million people? And it's going to be a long journey. It might be a time that we might not be able to even reach that in our lifetimes. But the point is we aspire to do that. We aspire to do that every single day. And that is something that helps us get up in the morning, even on a day when you're not feeling well. When, for example, I just end with, the recent last 2 weeks experience. So, we are very small in lean team. 2 of our team members got COVID. 2 of our team members were down with non-COVID ailments. So literally 50% of our team was not available to work. And it was just becoming too much pressure because we were growing really fast month on month. So what do we do? And it just went to the level we thought that we can't take it anymore. And that's when everyone took a step back, thought, okay, let's just see what we can do about it, prioritize work. And everybody just rose up. And everyone said, okay, let me take 1 extra person's work. 4 of us took one person extra work, did 8 people work. And that is when last week was our best week in terms of number of patients we served, right? Number of new patients that joined. Highest patient satisfaction score, 3.914. That's what we scored. So that all is possible because all of them believe that, okay, they would have easily said, right, that I don't want to do this. This is not my job. This is somebody else's job. They are sick. What is my problem? right? But they said, no, we need to do this because we are doing it to help people and the people should not get suffered. And that is why we were able to pull it off. So that's, all I want to leave you guys with. I'll be happy to answer your questions. Thank you. Hello.
Thank you, sir. Your entrepreneurship journey was very much inspiring so far. We wish you all the luck for your future endeavors. Thank you, sir, for sharing your journey with us. We wish you luck. Now it's time for the questions put forward by the audience. The first question is directed to Swanand, sir. Uh, if the programming language is in Hindi, how did you create it in Hindi? Is it completely compiled and interpreted in Hindi? Like,
Right. Yeah. So Kalam is an interpreted language, and for now, am I audible? By
yes, sir, you are very much
okay.
audible.
Okay. Cool. So Kalam is an interpreted language. It is written in JavaScript, and just for the purpose that it will be available on the web. But to make it cross-platform, we have to involve more steps like creating assembler, converting into bytecode, and then running it on the virtual machine. So that's a different process. But right now it's interpreted, and you can run it only on the web for now.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
The second question comes.
Hello.
Vanchika, you were not audible. Can you please repeat?
Not audible, Vanchika.
Hello.
Yes, now you're audible.
Yeah.
No one.
Hello, am I audible right now?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So the second question says, uh, it's for Swanand sir again. Why is the name Kalam? Do you think Kalam can be used for the first-time programmers? Can it be taken as a base for other languages as well?
Right. Yeah, so Kalam name is heavily inspired by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, so it's our tribute to them. And yeah, Kalam can right now it can does most of the stuff that a general purpose programming language can, like creating calculator, the basic programming language stuff. There are different possibilities to it right now, but obviously it doesn't compare to what Python or JavaScript is right now. Yeah.
Sir, can it be used by the first-time programmers as well?
Yeah, sure. It can be used by them.
Can it be taken as a base for other programming languages as well?
Right.
Like Java, Python. Is it relatable to them or completely different?
Okay, got it. So no, it's the syntax of Kalam is heavily inspired by JavaScript and Python, mainly because that's the kind of two industry level language used by most of the developers. So it's not completely different. You have those functions, you have loops, you have everything. There are different paradigms you can use while doing the programming. Right now, Kalam supports imperative programming. It has also support for functional programming, not object-oriented yet. So yeah, imperative and functional programming you can do it in Kalam.
Uh, yes, sir. And will you put Kalam as a programming language or a scripting language? And can you please highlight the difference between them as well?
Right. So right now, Kalam is mostly a scripting language. It has a totally different scenario when it comes to high level languages like this Python, JavaScript, or Java. There is so much to develop. Right now, you can't manipulate DOM or use any GUI libraries right now. Basic programming will do. I have already added the examples for that. In programming language, creating a proper programming language, you need to have runtime, a stack, virtual machine running it on cross platform. So there are different scenarios. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the last question. Can
Yes.
Kalam be used efficiently on mobile as well?
Yeah, I mean, Kalam right now you can access through a website, kalam.io. So basically, most of the students will not have laptop. They will be having mobile phone of their parents. So we have considered a mobile first UI for that. So kalam.io is pretty seamless on mobile.
Yes, sir. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, sir. The next set of questions are for Ashutosh, sir. Can we have you, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sir, the first question says, how to maintain originality? By inventing new or discovering the old, what will be more acceptable in the society?
I mean, the fact that you are thinking about what will be acceptable for society, right, is a paradoxical thing. You have to, I think the idea is, you are asking if the person is asking in terms of the idea. I believe I come from the narrative that it should be a problem you deeply care about, right? So it can be something that has come out of your personal experience, things that you have seen around. And if you are solving for something that is your thought and not based upon some market research report, or because some startup you heard is solving a similar thing and raised a lot of money and became successful, I think, yeah, then it's fairly original. And then if it happens to be something that somebody else is doing, because we are a country of 100 crore people, you shouldn't be surprised if what you're thinking 10 other people in the country are doing at the same time. So if you are doing it based on your own insights and experiences, then yeah, it'll end up being unique and original.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So the next question says, but for survival, we need money. But after becoming an entrepreneur, if we are not able to get that money, how will the person survive?
Right, great question. So I guess a couple of parts to this. So first part is that a lot of us overestimate the amount of money we need to survive. Okay, and I think lockdown has taught a lot of us that actually our needs and requirements are very less. So it's a good, I would say it's a good practice, and having survived through this pandemic, if you realize how less you require, then that's like a tentacle that you are letting go of. So you know that you don't require a lot of money to survive. If you want to get food on the table, ensure that the health is taken care of, that's not a lot of money. Obviously there is context to this, right? So I realize that I am privileged enough that it is not my responsibility to get food on the table for my family. My family can support me with putting food on the table. Okay, there are people who have to do that. Then for them, it's an extra challenge. Then, but that is the thing. It ends up being how badly somebody wants to do something. So people who would do day job in the beginning and then start side, do part time with their stuff, and gradually save up and then do entrepreneurship. The second thing, obviously, is that you plan, right? You plan better in terms of with respect to money. If you have certain monetary requirements, then depending on the kind of business or startup that you're doing, if it is giving you revenues from day one, then can you take some share out of it? But the larger point that I wanted to convey was starting up because you want to make money, right? See, wanting to make money and needing money for survival, I believe are very two different points. In a city like ours, right, even if you're independently living, in 15,000 rupees, you can easily survive in a month. But at the same time, if you are nobody's starting off saying, I want to make 15,000 rupees. So that is the point. You should not start up saying कि oh मैं बस दो साल में $1 million कमाना है इसलिए startup करना है. I think that's a very naive mentality to start up with, and a lot of people actually end up having that idea. That was the point. You're muted, Vanchika.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm sorry for the inconvenience caused. If we see in today's world, money is important, at least for survival, then why does a person think about entrepreneurship, even in a conscious mind? They can get that money through a vital job, then why entrepreneurship?
Exactly, because you are thinking of making money from entrepreneurship, so do not do entrepreneurship. That's very clear. So if you are, but what she mentioned in the beginning was for survival. I'm again saying survival is a different context. But if you want to make money and that's your motivation to start up, don't start up, because maybe money, and you can make decent money by just taking up a job and switching job, getting 20% hike. After every 2 years switch that you do, you will make decent amount of money. But that's not why you should do it. You should do it because you really need that. The motivation has to be much stronger, because the bad days are going to be much more.
So what according to you must be the qualities or the ambitions or the goals for anyone to go into startup or entrepreneurship? If not making money, then what?
See, so people have different motivations of doing it, right? One motivation could be really about solving a problem, and just the sheer joy that you get by solving a problem, and it could be in different ways. Somebody just enjoys building a very seamless process. Somebody could love building a really awesome product. Okay, but then a core of a lot of this is that urge to solve a problem, a wrong that you feel that you must right. And when you have a feeling for something like that, right? I must do this. I can't wait for the government or somebody else to do and build this. It is my responsibility. I believe that's a very strong, fair anchor, because then that will help you survive. One thing that obviously mentioned was the purpose, that you believe you're doing this something for the greater good, okay, which is much bigger than your individual self. So even if you are not a part of this thing still should be there. That's with respect to how you go about choosing, is what I feel. Then again, one thing that this journey has come to teach me is that there is no right answer, there is no black and white, there are just perspectives, and it's all shades of gray. So this is the school of thought that I am coming from. Coming to, if you're asking with respect to qualities, I think similar qualities, right, that are there, that I guess a lot of guys mentioned in the previous talks. You need to be, and I prefer to call it delusionally optimistic. That's something I like to call myself. You have to be optimistic almost to the level that people will say you are delusional, right? So when after doing engineering from BITS, I came back and I said I am understanding physiotherapy patient-doctor interactions. They're like, are you stupid? Why don't you do MBA? Why don't you do MS and go to US? Right? That's what everybody is doing. So you have to be willing to be comfortable with that. Because if that bothers you, then it will not be there. Some other thing, obviously, perseverance. So the story I shared, right? You will multiple times. I can tell you, in the last 4 years, there have been 4 to 5 times where we were almost on the brink of like, nahi ho raha hai. Let's just shut it down. Okay, things went really south. But then, do you hold on to it? Do you channelize that pressure into effort, right? And do you stick by it? So that persistence and even perseverance, willing to do it for the long run, those are the things I believe if you have, and there is no substitute for old good hard work. So that's something that everybody has to do, right? So I think, yeah, these are some set of things that are required, that I realize that at least I require if you have to start.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So the last question says, the graph of emotional roller coaster is totally relatable. It's a natural process to control our emotional quotient. While dealing with work, which are the other ways to overcome these fluctuations?
Really great, and I have still not been able to perfect this, so I will tell you it's a work in progress. But some things that work, right, on the emotional aspect is first, obviously, having a emotional support system outside of work, right? People whom you can fall back on, and because you will fall back on them a lot of times, it will be really bad a lot of times. So that emotional network that you have, a small set of people help you. Second is something that you've been debating for a long time, is maybe having an activity that you do just for the sheer joy of it. You're not doing it because you want to be good at it, reach somewhere, get an outcome from it, but you do it just for the sake of doing it. Like ideally, if your work is able to do that as your work, that is the best. But to begin with, you can also have some other activity, and you have to discover. Like I have not been able to discover that activity for me, but then some of the friends have been, so that helps them. Okay, and I guess third is learning to be. I think what is easier to do is, can you remind yourself when you're really joyous and happy that okay, I should not. How do I control my emotion then? Because it's really difficult to pick yourself when you're really down, and you might just take your sweet little time to come back up. But when you're up really high, really happy that, oh, I am the conqueror today, that day can you control that? So if it's the same thing from top to neutral or negative to neutral, if you can control the first one, then I think slowly you can do that over a period of time. That's at least something that's worked for me. So every time I find that okay, it's really going great, I try to calm myself down, saying okay, this shall also pass. The good shall also pass and the bad shall also pass. You should do it because you have to do it.
Thank you very much, sir. With this, we come to an end of our Q&A session. That's all.
Thank you.
Yeah. The final vote of thanks for the event, and that goes. Thank you, Mr. Swanand, sir. We will be definitely abide by your mantras that say problems exist because solutions to them exist too. And the divide and the conquer concept was really nice. These will be definitely serve as a push to the beginners like us, as well as motivate the professionals by keeping calm and proceeding with all our respective endeavors. Yesterday, as we celebrated the Hindi Divas, you really made it worthwhile and of such of great importance worldwide by overcoming the language barrier to programming and development by introducing Kalam, the first ever programming or the scripting language in Hindi, extending a heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Ashutosh for inspiring us with such amazing success as well as failure stories on how you proved the quote, Rolling Stone gathers no moss. The life changing lessons like you should do it because you want to do it consciously. Once again, proving the lines said by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, सपने वो नहीं होते जो हम सोने के बाद देखते हैं, सपने वो होते हैं जो हम अब हमें सोने नहीं देते. Never settle, as believed by some of the multinational companies too, as I can say it goes very much relatable with OnePlus, I guess. And the mantras like go big or go home are truly commendable and the worth imbibing in our lives. If we truly want to succeed, we appreciate having this mysterious area of success and failures clarified. Thank you so much for being with us and sharing our experience with our audience. It was great to have you on board. Now, I would like to hand over to Janvi for the TEDx CCW. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining with us. I am Janvi, IEEE member of Student Branch, Cummins College of Engineering for Women, Nagpur. It is rightly said, vision begins with the eyes, but it truly takes place in the brain. With this, we come to our next and last event of day one. Today we have with us Ms. Anubha Maneshwar. She is founder of Girl Script Foundation and Girl Script Technologies, mentor at Mozilla Open Leaders Program. She has been featured in Forbes Under 30 Asia list of 2020 under Social Entrepreneurs category and is also the winner of Indian Women Leadership Excellence Award. We welcome you, ma'am. Participants are requested to post their questions in the comment section.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much, Janvi, for such a lovely introduction. I really enjoyed this session by Ashutosh sir and Swanand sir. This was really good to hear, but unfortunately, I was not well, so I couldn't attend the event from the beginning. But really excited to do my part and really excited to interact with everybody. So right now I'm going to start with my journey and then I'll be sharing my screen. So just be with me and I'll be with you. Yeah. So I hope now my screen is visible to everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah. So so why I have opened this screen is because this year I got into this list of Forbes Asia under 30, and here a lot of biggest entrepreneurs were featured from 23 countries across Asia, and I got this opportunity to get featured. Here I am. so. So I belong to a very, so I'll just start with my story and then I'll take you through the journey of becoming an entrepreneur and how exactly I did it and what were my takeaways. So I belong to a very small city in Madhya Pradesh called Chhindwara. It is nearby Nagpur, around 120 kilometers. And I did my engineering from Nagpur University after that. So I was a student in Kendriya Vidyalaya Chhindwara till 12th, CBSE student. And then I moved to Nagpur University for completing my engineering. When I was doing my engineering, I felt that a lot of students need help. A lot of students don't realize why they are into a classroom, or always we focus on the 10% of the students in a class, but we don't focus on the remaining 90%. In those remaining 90%, we have different sections or categories of students. Some of these 90% already know better than the rest 10% who are into the privileged category, but they are so underconfident to express themselves that they do not speak up. Apart from those type of people, we also have such people who do not know why they have taken up a degree program and what they are going to do next. Maybe they just take it up because somebody suggested them, maybe a relative, a friend, or a senior, or anybody who just was taking up this degree and then they go for it. So my vision when I came to Nagpur and I saw the situation of the students uh, and they needed help. So this was my motivation to help them, and how my journey started, as we saw in my introduction, that I got in touch with Mozilla community. So you must have heard about Firefox, the browser, and Mozilla is the creator of it. So I started collaborating with such communities like Mozilla Foundation, Lenin Foundation, and a lot of other foundations in India. From Nagpur only, I started working with remotely with these type of companies and organizations. Started doing my internship. So you must have heard about PNG, Procter and Gamble, and there were many startups. So from second year, I decided that I would work with these companies and I would learn a lot of things, because back then in 2014, 15, there were no such opportunities, like internships were not that popular. And then internship platforms like Internshala and all those were just coming to India. Like they were just getting trendy in India. So I decided to work sorry with my voice, I am not well. So yeah, I decided to work with internships with many companies. So I started my journey by writing blogs for a company called ictales.com. So if you go right now as well and search Anubha Maneshwar, so you will find a lot of blogs. So I used to write movie reviews. I used to write on relationships or whatever, because I was just a second year student. So I did not know what exactly I want to do in my life, or there were not many opportunities around. So I decided to take up what was available, and then I started writing blogs. So I used to get paid 50 rupees per blog. So this was the first job that I did in my life, where I used to get 50 rupees per blog, and I used to write this 200, 300 words blog every day. From there, I started working with a company called Procter Pocket Classroom, where I used to take interview of different academicians. So Pocket was a software solution for Procter was a solution for somebody who is having tuition classes. So how they manage their tuition classes. So I was to interview them about how they manage it and everything. And similarly, I got in touch with programming, the world of open source. And then I learned about communities in programming like Mozilla, Google Developers Community, Women Tech Makers, Django Girls Community. So I became part of these communities. I started going from government schools to government schools in Nagpur, where I used to teach developing your own web page. So I used to teach front-end development to the teachers who were in government school, because if they become computer programming, if they become really sound for about it, then they would be able to teach their students as well. So this is the program I started when I was a Mozilla Campus Club leader. And then I went ahead to become Mozilla representative. So right now I am one of the official representatives of Mozilla. And after that, I started a project Girl Script, because still after collaborating with different communities and different companies, I felt that there is still a gap between industry and student needs help. As I said, the 90% of the students were still today also in Nagpur, a lot of people don't know about different communities exist, and then how they are helping the students and how they can leverage the opportunity to maybe go outside India, give a talk in one of the biggest programming conferences, or maybe participate in Entrepreneurship World Cup, or do something which is out of the box and which nobody else is doing in their classroom. So I felt an urge to do that, and that's how I started my journey. So basically, I started my journey by teaching students. So I started teaching girls initially, and that's why the name is Girl Script. But then I felt that in smaller cities, men equally need support. They also require support regarding opportunities and whatnot. So I started this non-profit organization to support the students who come from. So till date, we have impacted 60,000 students. We have maintained 50% of the seats for women participants, but 50% are open for all. So it is open for all. Just the name is Girl Script. And we are present right now in 64 cities across India. And then we also are present in Ireland, Nepal, Nigeria. So we are in total 4 countries. And we have participation from more than 15 countries in our online programs. So this is what we do. Basically, in the foundation, we have different programs, right from slum children to working professionals. So we teach students in slum about technology, because slum children cannot afford education, or below poverty line students cannot afford a technical degree. So if we train them about computers, they can learn themselves. The photograph that you are seeing right now, here are girls from Navgurukul. So Navgurukul is an organization which teaches below poverty line students in Bangalore. So we collaborated with them to teach these students. So similarly, I developed different programs for students, like Girl Script Summer of Code program, which is for open source development. So anybody who wants to become an open source developer, they can collaborate with this program. And we have different partners every year, different companies who support us every year. And that's how we do it. It is a 3-month long program. I'm not here to advertise my company, but I am just telling you because you are students, so you should first know what I do and what is my journey, and then we can start with the actual presentation. So we started doing Girl Script India Summit. We started Uplift project for the students who, for example, if you want to talk in English, but there is nobody in your surrounding who can speak in English. So when I started my journey as an entrepreneur, I realized that a lot of people do not have friends who can give them an environment. Or if you want to do machine learning, but there is nobody in your surrounding who is doing machine learning. So we started with Uplift project, where we started making mentorship groups for students. So anybody combining a English group, an interview preparation group, a machine learning group, and something like that. So this is just recently finished. So we covered a lot of technologies and a lot of other non-technical stacks as well. So this is what we do. So similarly, we have different programs. I won't take much of the time in doing that. And recently I started my another company, which is a profit venture called gsa.com. So I released this online learning platform 10 days ago, and this is the first product of my second company. So you can check it out if you feel that this community or the work that we are doing is essentially important to you. So you can check this out, and now I will take you to the presentation. So yeah. So entrepreneurship one-on-one. So basically, a lot of people think that when they become an entrepreneur, and I think I joined at the right time, because Ashutosh sir was talking about this thing only, that money shouldn't be the motivation. And as you can see in the illustration, this person is loaded with money and really happy. So entrepreneurship is okay. Are you able to see my screen? If anybody can tell me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. So this person is loaded with money, but actually this does not happen, and that's why like we are here to tell you about what exactly entrepreneurship is. So I will just start with the basics. I'm sure that the people who have already presented, they are very well experienced and they have already covered this fact, but I'll just take them as a learning, and then we can start. So. What we will learn today is basically what is entrepreneurship. You already might know, and when should you start it, and how to run a startup and raise money. So these are the basic questions which everybody has who wants to become an entrepreneur. So we are going to look at them. So basically, entrepreneurship does not have any strategy. A lot of people try to follow another entrepreneur. If I am telling you कि आपको इस वे में जाना है और you have to go a certain way, you cannot follow my advice exactly. Nobody can follow each other's advice exactly, because entrepreneurship does not have any strategy. Everybody comes from different background and they observe different things, and that's how they become an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is mainly accidental to some people. Some people just, for example, you are just walking by a road and then you see something happening and then you feel that, oh, this is the problem and I have a solution to this, so why not build something out of it? And that is how mainly entrepreneurship takes place, like problem solving. And to solve a problem, for example, if you have to do 2 plus 2 4, a lot of people can do it orally. 2 plus 2 4, a lot of people like to write the digits, any of the digits which they have to sum, and then they do it. Some people have those abacus and other techniques which they have followed related to mathematics, so they try these mental techniques. So everybody, when we solve a mathematical problem or a programming problem, you will see that everybody has a different solution. If anybody is a programmer here right now, or anybody is a mathematician, they will understand that the way of solving a problem is different for each of us. Similarly, entrepreneurship is something like
Excuse
that.
me, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry to interrupt, but your screen is frozen and it's not, we can't see the PPT. We are seeing the Instagram page of Girl Script.
Okay. So that is why I asked you. Just a second. Yeah, is it now visible?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very
Yeah,
much,
okay.
ma'am. And
Great,
sorry for
thank you.
disturbing.
No, it's completely all right. Yeah. So there is no right or wrong way. Like you solve a mathematical problem, similarly, obviously, you should have ethics. Like there are some boundaries or legal ethics that you have to follow. Uske aage you can't cross the line. Some people do it, but obviously it depends on them how much risk they are ready to take in. But then if what might work for you might not work for others. So everybody has different stories. Similarly, like you study in college, some people study before one night, some people study throughout the semester, some people study 1 month ago or something like that. Some people like group study, some people study individually. So it's like everybody has their own way of doing it. Similarly, entrepreneurship has, if you listen to like 10 different entrepreneurs, although the main summary would be same, but the perspectives would be different. So this is what I want to say, and the way they execute things is different. So entrepreneurship is not something which anybody can teach you, but you learn through by doing it. So this is very important to understand. Yeah. So if you Google the definition of entrepreneurship, what you will find is the activity of setting up a business or businesses, taking on financial risk in the hope of profit. So that is what I think we were talking about, that entrepreneurship does not guarantee that you will have loads of money. And this is the definition. If you search entrepreneurship right now on Google, you will find this definition. And I share it in all of my presentations because this is the first thing you need to understand. Because a lot of students these days, just because they want to look cool or they want to add entrepreneur or founder to their name, they just jump into this loophole, I would say. Because it's a loophole until unless you are able to come across it and solve the problem that you jumped into the circle for. So this you need to understand. So the activity of setting up business or businesses, taking on financial risk. So you take not only, I would say, financial risk, but you take risk with your time, with your energy, with your relations, if you are working with close ones into the business and something like that. So everything is at risk, and you are taking this risk in the hope of profit in future, and profit might or might not happen because it's a hope. So this is the first thing that you need to understand, and I'm not scaring you, but I'll tell you like how to go about it. So the first thing, a lot of people ask me how to get the idea for becoming an entrepreneur. A lot of people just ask me, can you tell me an idea? I want to become an entrepreneur. So it does not happen like that. If you need to become an entrepreneur and you are a first generation entrepreneur, meaning aapke ghar pe there is nobody doing business, but you are the first one who has jumped into this field. So then you need to understand that for getting an idea, you need to become a good observer. Whenever you go somewhere, you attend a party, you attend a meeting, you attend anything, even when you are sitting here attending this event, so somebody can build something just for doing online events or something like that. So some people who become entrepreneurs are very good observer. They observe and then they learn from it. They observe and then they absorb the problem into them and they apply the solution to it. So basically, if you want to get an idea, and this not necessarily be from the field where you are coming from. For example, a lot of non-technical people build a technical startup, or a lot of people who are not coming from financial background, but they build a fintech startup, or somebody not coming from a food background, they build a food company. So you need not be from that background particularly, but you can observe any problem and try to find a solution. So there are no boundaries that you have taken degree in computer science, so you cannot build a hardware startup or something like that. It's not like that. You can do everything in entrepreneurship. There are no boundaries, no degree required, nothing, but mainly the passion and compassion is required to do it. So the first thing, if you have any doubts related to getting the right type of idea, so the step one is to observe different things around you. From today onwards, if you feel that you want to become an entrepreneur, just start observing different things around you and try to find small solutions about it. So this is how, and learn from it, observe different things, and also research that what are the other things available for this problem. And then you apply your solution and start thinking about the ideation and what my product or my service or my website would look like or something like that. So this is the way to proceed. The second step is the validity. So for example, if you are 100% sure that you have the idea, but now you don't know how to move forward. So once you have that idea, first ask yourself, and self-validity is very important. If you are a businessman who do not believe in their product, then you won't be able to convince others that it is a good product. So first you need to be 100% sure why you are doing it and what is the motive. So first ask yourself, will you buy it? So if you are a customer and you decided to sell a service or a product, ask yourself, if I am on the other side, I am a customer, so will I buy it? Will I buy this product? Will I buy my product? And what will be the price it should be? And why will I buy this product? So first, be sure, be confident from your gut that, okay, this product is really good. And if this existed into my life like earlier, I will be a customer definitely. So this is extremely important. The second thing is you should understand who will be the target audience. So who will be the target audience? For example, if I launch an app like Swiggy and I start it from a city like Nagpur or Amravati or Yatmal or even smaller cities, Chinwada or something like that. So my startup won't have justified sample space. Sample space means the users that we get or the audience. If I start the similar startup like Swiggy from Bangalore, so in Bangalore, I can get an area where a lot of IT people are living and they don't like to cook. And in fact, after 12 hours of job, they are so exhausted that they don't have time to cook. So now these are the people who will be ordering food online. So you must understand what is your sample space and from where you are going to start your thing. For example, if you are building something which is as I said, like technology, because Swiggy requires online ordering. And if we even tell our parents that we are ordering from Swiggy, or we are getting clothes from Flipkart or Amazon, a lot of our parents also don't approve of it, because they feel that online, if things will come online, it won't be really good, or the quality won't be good, or we'll get cheated or something. So then I will have to start my company from where people actually believe in that thing. So this is how you find the right type of target audience, or the area, or the people you are going to sell your product or services to. And the last step, and very important step, and this is the step why most of the entrepreneurs fail, because they just invest their parents money, their money, or maybe they take loan from somebody, and they just start working on the idea is good and everything is there, but they don't do market research. They don't see who are their competitors sitting in the market. So for example, I have to start a food startup now, or delivery. So I will see what customers Swiggy has acquired, at how many places Swiggy is operating, at how many places Zomato is operating, and at which cities they are not operating, or maybe what are their drawbacks, and what I can come up with. So market research is really important if you want to fit in, into the ecosystem of and this is really, really important step. And what happens is, in India, a lot of people just get an idea and they start working on the startup, leaving everything behind without doing a proper research. So first conduct a research for at least 1 or 2 months, and there are different ways to conduct this research. I will tell you more about this. So this is the step 2. After you get the idea, you have to get the validation from the market and from your gut as well, that whatever you are doing is really required. The step 3 is really important, and it is really good if you have these this list that I have mentioned here. First is work experience. So for example, if I want to do a food startup, so why not work as an intern or as a volunteer for a food company 1 month, for 1 month? Even if they are not paying me, I can work as an unpaid intern for 1 month, but I will get to learn so many things about food industry. I will get to learn how they are operating, how they are working. Similarly, if I want to do an education startup, or I want to do something else, like whatever startup you want to do, so why not take 1 month or 2 months? And this is also a part of research, because you will understand the structure as an employee of another company, and you will understand how they operate, how it is happening. And obviously, if you are inventing something from new, then you will have lesser chances of going somewhere. But most of the startups that we do, almost 95% are not invented, they are customized. So we get an idea maybe from outside India, or from somebody else who is already doing a startup, and then we customize over it, we add our flavor to it. So it is very important that if we can volunteer for a company, if we can do a unpaid internship or a paid internship for such kind of companies or startups, it will give us a lot of knowledge. The second thing is networking. I swear by this. Networking, even if you want to get a job in the industry, or you want to switch jobs, if you have network, for example, you are sitting in a restaurant in Bangalore, and then you are sitting alone, and you meet somebody in that particular restaurant who is working for another IT company, and you talk to them and you become friends while sitting there. And then you tell them that I want to switch my company, and this person tells you that, okay, my company is looking for this software developer. So this is how networking happens, and you can switch from one company to another company without knowing anything. So networking is really important. The third step is market research. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know why this happened on the day of presentations only. There is a power cut suddenly, so I got out, I think. So yeah, I'll just continue with it.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah. So so there we go. So this happens when you become an entrepreneur. Any problem can come anytime, but you cannot give up. So you need to have a team. So you can be a solo entrepreneur. There is nothing wrong about it. But then if you had like at least one or two, even your friends who can start with you initially, that would really give you different voices. That, for example, if you have an idea and your friend has a contradictory idea, so then you can actually brainstorm over it, and from the day one you will have this habit of listening to others as well. Like if you go solo, obviously it is good, there is no problem in going solo, and I was also a solopreneur like from the beginning, but then I also had my friends. Now they are working with other companies, but initially I gathered like few of my friends to do this with me. And then the money. So for example, so money is not required every time when you do this startup or something. Like every time money is not necessary. But for example, if you are building something which cannot be built, for example, somebody develops a hardware solution which requires lakhs or maybe crores of investment, or maybe you are building some software which requires so many different services, so then also you need to think about what is the minimum viable product, MVP, that minimum product kya hona chahiye, what is the highlighting feature of my product, and how much money is required for that, and how I am going to get it. So this is the requirement list which you should, if you check all these things, then again the chances of not failing. Obviously, I cannot tell you whether you would fail or not. Even I don't know whether I will fail as an entrepreneur like later on after 2 3 years. Like it does not matter where you are featured or whatnot. These are all myths. Anybody can fail anytime while being an entrepreneur, but this reduces the chances of failing. So this is really important. Now, just some important points that I would like to share. Generate the money, don't wait. So what I did is from my second year, I started working with different companies, startups, interns, and even if they were paying me 50 rupees for an article, I did not care. A lot of people miss a lot of opportunities. For example, even they are placed in a campus placement, what they do is they say that, okay, this is like this company is paying me or this startup is paying me just 15,000 a month, rather I'll just sit at home and prepare for something else. So don't do that. Take up that job which even pays you that amount, and then you will learn so many different things with that. So don't care about the money initially in your career, even if you are going for a job or entrepreneurship, because if you get the right type of experience and you meet right type of people, your life would entirely change. So if you want to do startup and you have, for example, now for just launching the one phase of your project or the MVP, you need 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 5 lakh. So you need to start working by yourself rather than investing your parents' money, even if they are rich enough to fund your startup. It's always better that you work yourself and then get that money. It will give you so many learnings. So just don't wait that some investor would come and give you money. I will just tell you one thing. If I am an investor, or if you are an investor, you won't invest in something which is already in loss or which is already not giving any money out of it. So somebody invests in a startup only when it is actually profitable. Especially in India, we don't have this tradition of investing like pre-seed funding or funding on the basis of just an idea. Even if we do, the amount that we give to these people are not justified. Like even 5-10 lakhs may people just sell their idea into any of the competition. So this is not justified. So don't wait for the money. Just go ahead, do your side gig as intern, as volunteer, as a employee. Even some people also work with the company, and on weekends then they work on their startup. Or some people are students who manage their college, who 1 or 2 hours they dedicate to their internship, and then they also do their startup side by side. So there are different ways to manage it. It all depends on your hands. So perfect team does not exist. Like I said, you need a team, but obviously if you are really emotional and you are attached to the people who come to you, and a lot of new entrepreneurs come to me and ask me that, ma'am, I want to do this startup, but there is no team. So understand that even Mark Zuckerberg called 5 people in a room where he explained the idea of Facebook, and like 2 people backed out. So that does not matter. And obviously he was not Mark Zuckerberg, the Mark Zuckerberg at that time, but this will happen to you. A lot of people won't believe in your idea. They think that you are mad or something like that. So perfect team, people will come. For example, if you take a company, like a bigger company like Google or Microsoft, people join Microsoft every day, like hundreds of people, and hundreds of people also resign from Microsoft on the very same day and they join Google or other companies. So this is a process. So do not become really emotional about your team members. And if you are building your startup, and your co-founders or the C-suite members are your friends, your best friends, or anybody who you are really close to, then make sure that you are getting a legal agreement done so that no problem happens. Like later on, even if you decide to part your ways, it is obviously will be emotional process, but then you are clear on the legal part and who gets what. So this is what you should understand. Identifying your first customer. So whenever a new shop opens, for example, your relative opened a sweet shop or any other shop, you can imagine any shop. So they give you this invitation that we have an opening of our shop and please come to our shop opening. And they give, for example, an ice cream parlor is open, so they give free ice creams on that day, and then everybody comes and then give a look to the shop, how it is, what are the services. So similarly, it is very important. So this is what they do. They give you an invitation, that come to our inauguration ceremony of my shop, and once you visit the shop, you become their first customers or first people who do word of mouth. So once you go to this shop, you will buy something, you will get as a good gesture. If you are going to the inauguration, you will say that, okay, I'll buy one ice cream, or I will buy a sweet packet or something like that. So you become their first customer, and that's how they generate the revenue. And later on, once you go back home, and if you like the product or anything, you tell other people as well, okay, this is my cousin or some my mama ka or chacha ka ladka or something like that who has opened this shop, you should definitely go and check it out. So this is how it happens. From day one, you need to understand how will you generate customers for your business and how it is going to spread. So this is extremely important that you understand who are your first customers. Legal process and cost cutting. So a lot of people who start initially, they have to pay a lot, or they feel they get a lot of people try to cheat them on the legal front, that we'll be requiring this amount of fee, that amount of fee. So if you want to understand the legal processes and don't want to also spend a lot of money, if you are good at self-learning, just go to government websites, learn about startups, how registration process occurs, something like that. Or otherwise, the simple process is to call anybody who was in commerce when you have taken math science. So you must be having a lot of friends till 10th standard, who later on took commerce and became CA or became somebody like a law student or something, and then you became an engineer or something. So we always have those friends from the childhood who take up different field later on. So find those people, even if you are not in touch from many years, take their number and call them and tell them that, okay, I am deciding to build a startup, and can you explain me about legal process? So this is your friend telling you about the process, and he or she won't be charging a lot, and then he or she will be giving you a good advice that what you should go with or what should be your next process. So this is, and I also got my company registered, the first one, from one of my students. She was a law student and she came to one of my workshop for learning programming, and that's how I met and I got my company registered. So this is how it goes. Word of mouth still exists. So people think that only digital marketing, I will launch my startup, I will just do digital marketing ads. So if your product or services are not good, even digital marketing won't work. So you should understand that today also the only thing that will stand out is your product. with digital media or social media, if you don't give good services, good product to people, they will write post about you, like 1 page or 2 page post about you, blaming you, talking bad about you or something like that. So you should understand that word of mouth and serving each and every small customer is really important. You have to be equivalent to all of them, and then you should take it forward. As I said earlier as well, even with job, like you will be sitting at home for 1 year, but if you take a job which pays you 15,000 rupees a month, then also you will earn 1,80,000 in a year. So this is the difference. Somebody who knows the value of this thing, they take up that smaller job and later on they switch companies and they reach higher packages. But some person, they just sit idly, they just wait for the right opportunity and they never get it. So something is always greater than zero in life. So whenever you get small milestones while your journey as an employee or even as a startup entrepreneur, celebrate it, because it is what you have gained. Minimalistic approach, as I said, if your hardware solution or your website, your software solution is a bigger one. So I did not start all of my projects under Girl Script in one day. I went from one on one and I started all these projects, 8 to 10 projects that I am running right now, after 3 years of my journey as an entrepreneur. So minimalistic approach is really important. Don't release. You might have seen updates on Play Store, Apple Store. You might have seen the updates. Every app has their updates. So every app is not perfect from the beginning. Their technical teams continuously works on the feedbacks and the customer support, and they try to implement new features. Like when PhonePe or Paytm recently started, they just had like one or two features, and later on they came up with Paytm Mall, Paytm Gold, movie tickets, aeroplane or flight tickets, something like that. So everything comes one by one, and that is how customers also like it. Like if you push everything at once in the application, they will get confused that how it works. So you need to make them used to your product or service, and then you can additionally add more products to it. So this is how you should do. You should launch the minimum product or service that you have first. So I have an illustration of a demon here. So you will look like a demon to somebody. People will be scared of using your product or services if you launch everything at once. They will be confused. So go with the minimum approach and then launch other things. So once you form the startup, your team and you need to study continuously. Like you should update yourself continuously with what is happening in market. Or if you are running a technology, or for example, I run an education startup, I need to continuously study about the changes that is happening in the industry. So similarly, you need to continuously study and also encourage your team members to study more, get that degree or maybe do that side hustle, learn from a lot of things, because these learnings will help you all together in growing. So a lot of people wait for investments. And so investment kya hoti hai? For example, if I give you 5 lakh rupees and I am a bank. So if bank gives you 5 lakh rupees, they will charge an interest of, for example, maximum 10%. So I will have to give 5,50,000 rupees back to the bank. But investment is something where if I give you 5 lakh rupees and I ask 5% of your company, that means now you have 95% of your company and 5% is mine. And now I can do anything with those 5%. Also, when I am giving you my money, obviously an investor, like 5 lakhs is a small amount, but investment happens in millions of dollars as well. So when I am giving you my important money that I have earned by doing my hard work, so I would expect that you will be utilizing it in a good way. So I also micromanage you, or I also sit in board meetings with you. So now, for example, if you have to make any decision, you have to take my permission as well, or you have to ask me as well at least once for the opinion before launching any new product or before changing anything in the basic product or something like that. So please understand that taking loan from bank is different, and investment is not getting richer. My company has got investment now, so I have become rich. It is not like that. Investment is a loan that you take. You not only have to repay that loan, but what happens is, for example, if I am investing 5% at if I am taking 5% at 5 lakh of by giving you 5 lakh rupees, later on, if this 5% become a value of 5 crore rupees, then you can't tell me that I cannot give you 5 crores. For bank, you just have to give maximum 5,50,000 because 10% interest was decided from the beginning. But to me, if I am an investor, even if the value is 5 crore rupees, I am owner of those 5 crore rupees. Like, I am the individual and I am owner of these money. So you cannot, and if you want to buy back your 5% from me, you have to give me 5 crore rupees, for which I paid 5 lakh initially, and now it worth 5 crore rupees. So you have to give me that and take those things back. So investment is a lot of micromanagement where the person will teach you, will guide you, and even interfere in your decisions. And it is kind of a loan that you take. So please understand, it is not a cool thing, but it is something which you should take only when you are sure that your business would work, and then you can handle those pressures. So it is always better that you start small and you bootstrap your startup. Bootstrap meaning that you sell 5 rupees biscuit packet, and then you gain 5 rupees, and then you are not dependent on somebody else to supply you goods or something. So if you earn 50,000 from your shop,
bonus.
investing the same amount to buy new products. For example, if you have a kirana shop, you opened a kirana shop in your gully, and then you bought a raw material of or the material of 50,000 rupees. Initially you took 50,000 from your parents, and you bought biscuit packet, chips packet, or whatever you want to sell in your shop. So this is an imaginary shop which we have created right now. And in that shop, for example, now you make a profit of 60. Now you invested 50,000 to get the goods, and now, for example, you made a profit of, say, imaginary 60,000 rupees, so 10,000 rupees profit. And then you invest back more 30,000, and then you get more material for your shop, and then you sell it. So this is the simple bootstrapping method. But for example, now your shop is running really well, and now you want to become something like Big Bazaar, where you want to open 4 or 5 chains of the store in your same city. So now your money won't be sufficient, for investing, for making those 5 chains. But you are completely sure that if you open those 5 chains, you would be able to earn more money. So that is why you will go to an investor. You will tell them that I run a kirana shop here and here, or I run these three stores in my city, and now I want to take it to another city, and would you fund me, would you invest in my business? So you tell them that these are the profits I have made in this year, and all those things. And if the investor is impressed by your pitch, so pitching simply means that you tell them what exactly you have done, the numbers and everything, when you started and everything. And if the investor likes it, they give you money, and to expand those things. So now you have 3 shops in your city, but with the investors' money, you have expanded to other cities as well. Like I give you example of Kirana shop and Big Bazaar. So this is the difference that an investment creates. So the last few things, an entrepreneur is an all-rounder. So an entrepreneur is a bowler, a batsman, a wicket keeper, a fielder, everybody. So you cannot complain becoming an entrepreneur. Today also I give talks. I make like I do development like websites or something. I also write content. So I am also content writer. I am a developer. I am also a presenter for my startup. Then I do a lot of things. Every day there are 10, 15, 20 days, and you cannot complain, because if you start complaining, this is your dream and your company, the other people who are working with you, they would stop working at all. So this you need to understand before you take up entrepreneurship, that you need to do everything. And if you do everything, other people would also take it positively, and they would try to help you. If you just sit like a boss, this is not how it happens. So the last few points: trust your team. So whoever people you are working with, trust them, give them opportunities, let them take leadership roles, or maybe if you are doing a presentation, take them, give them a chance to do it, communicate properly. So even if it is your best bestest friend that you are doing startup with, you need to communicate properly that these are my roles and responsibilities. So मैं इतना काम करूँगा करूँगी, and you will do this amount of work. You know, even if you assume that okay, he is my like or she is my bestest friend, so he will completely understand like what I mean by this. No, it doesn't happen in work. If you really want that your relationship with your friend remain like it was before your startup, you need to communicate and tell them properly that what happens and you know what they need to do and what they not to do. Work really hard work has no other like option. You should definitely have a plan B in your life. So initially when you start, at till one point when you don't feel that okay, now I can leave this job or this internship because now my startup at least pays for my monthly expenses or my bills, then I can go with it. But always you should have a plan B in mind. And I'm not saying this in a negative way, but if you have something else to do as well, it will save you big time with your journey. Get ready to face epic betrayal. So you will get betrayed or cheated by a lot of people, and this is how you learn in startup. Initially you won't understand who is making fool of you, what you are selling, how to do it, but initially it happens. Later on you understand everything and you become really smart as a business person. Enjoy every milestone. This is really important. So if you enjoy small successes, for example, if even my LinkedIn page of my startup, so it recently crossed 25,000 followers, and this was all organic. We celebrated with a small cake with our team that we are really doing good. People are writing good testimonials about what we do. So we celebrate small things. So this is really important. Feel satisfied. So startup gives you a satisfaction. If you are really a person who cannot do a 9 to 5 job, and somebody asked this question I think earlier as well, that if money is not the motivation, then why do startups? So I had 4 job offers in my hand, and last year also I was working with a company based in US as a remote employee. But startup gives you a different kind of satisfaction. Every day there is a new challenge. You are not sitting in a cubicle where you are just working on the similar thing every day. But startup gives you a chance to step into different shoes, and that's what I like about it. This gives me immense satisfaction. And even if another company would have paid me like 2 3 5 lakhs a month as a salary, I would have not felt what I feel right now, because every day when I earn that 1,000 rupee or 500, or I make any sale or I do something, it makes me so happy. So this is why I think most of the people do entrepreneurship or take entrepreneurship, because they enjoy problem solving. They are risk taker. They love solving problems, and they don't like being monotonous. Ki ek jaisa kaam they are doing for continuously 10-20 days, but they love challenges. They love leadership. So if you are a leader, you can manage team, you can talk to people. So these are mostly the qualities, like the common qualities of people who take up entrepreneurship. And then self-motivation. So a lot of time you will feel really down. You will feel that nobody is there. You are losing your friends. People are not understanding you. So self-motivation as an entrepreneur is really important. You tell every day that how awesome you are, how successfully you have completed this journey till now. And this is what I do. Like every day, even if I am sleeping with tears in my eyes, the next morning I get up and I tell myself that no, I have overcome these problems and these challenges from all these years. Now I won't stop, and I restart again. So this is all like 1 and 0, and how the graph goes. Like one day you are accelerating, and then another day you are just sitting, and then again it happens. So this is like a continuous cycle that happens unless you reach a threshold where your company becomes really like it turns into a proper corporate, where now everything is on autopilot mode. Then you don't need to worry about all these things. Feedback. So taking feedbacks is really important, and also understanding that some people would just try to pull your legs. Some people would just try to give you negativity, and some people would just call you mad because they could not handle your success. But there will be some people, even if they are giving you negative feedback, they would give you feedback for your good. So take those feedbacks, try to work on different things, and update your product, your services according to that. But if somebody is just mocking you and taunting you and giving you negative vibes, understand that you need to separate and remove them from your circle. So this happens when you start getting success in your life. Gut feeling is really important. Sometimes you are really not sure with decision making, but inside us there is a voice that keeps on telling us what is the wrong and right decision. So this is really important. Obviously, research before decision making is important, but as an entrepreneur, I can tell you that gut feeling plays an equally important role. Whether you have to take money from an investor or not, whether you have to launch that product on this date or not, or something, anything which you want to do, your inside voice has that answer. So keep on asking, keep on exploring yourselves, and it will give you an answer. Don't be stubborn. So some people, what they do is, if their startup is not working even for 7, 8, 10 years, they keep on doing it. And the stories look really fascinating when we study about Jack Ma or any of the other entrepreneurs, but trust me, it just happens with few people. So as I said, you should have backup plan. Like, don't just get involved in it. Have self realization that this time it's not working, so maybe I should get a side gig or something till then my situation becomes normal. So last year, like, I was going through a rough phase with my startup, so I decided to join a company side by side, a US based company, where I was working in US hours in nighttime office. So in morning time I used to work for my startup, in evening time I used to work for that company. So I knew that my situation is, and once after 6 months my situation improved, I left that company. So every time you will have a realization, but if you have the backup, then only you would be able to get out, improve your situation, and then get back to your startup. So sometimes you need to forget family and festivals. This becomes really hard, but it's all right, because later on, if you become really successful, all those sacrifices will make a lot of sense. Do cost cutting, so reduce all the expenses that you have, from maybe additional expenses that you have initially. Just do some cost cutting initially. Take breaks. So this is really important. If you even become an entrepreneur or somebody, you cannot work 24/7. So what I do is, whenever I don't feel like working, I just log out. I just shut down internet from my laptop, mobile, everything, and then I take break for a while. I reevaluate everything. I eat my favorite food. I go out with my friends. I post on Instagram, or maybe I just see others post, or I spend some time in breathing back into life, and then I start working again. So taking breaks, even if you're studying for campus placement or anything, taking breaks is really important. आप half of hour का schedule बनाइए रोज का, that okay, this time I will study, but this time I will take break. So this will give you more productivity rather than just studying for 12 hours straight. So understand when your mind needs that rest and take breaks accordingly. Improve your speaking skills at least a bit. Not every entrepreneur is a speaker, and a lot of successful entrepreneurs never speak at any events. So I am not telling you this just to speak at different events, but if you are a good speaker, then you can convince other to buy your product, or you can pitch to an investor to invest in your company. So just improve some bit of your speaking as well as listening skills, and have a 3 to 5 year projection of why you are doing it in next 3 years, how you see it in next 5 years, and it will automatically come once you start your journey. Yeah, so this is all about investment. So I think I have taken a lot of time, so I won't tell you this part. If you are interested in investment prep, or maybe just talking later on after the session, we can talk about different investment rounds and how to prepare for investments. So this we can talk later on, but I will finish my presentation here because I think the time is up. So the two main important things, do not lie to yourself. As I said, आपको पता होता है कब आपने पढ़ाई नहीं की है पेपर के लिए, तो आप सेल्फ कॉन्शियस होके पढ़ने लग जाते हो उस टाइम पे, बिकॉज आपको डर लगता है. सिमिलरली स्टार्टअप में आपको पता चलता है कि कब सही हो रहा है, कब गलत हो रहा है. सो जस्ट ट्रस्ट योर गट, trust and realize do not lie to yourself or to your team members that everything is all right. If the situation is worse, tell them it is not good and we need to team up together and do something about it, you know. So this is the first point. And the second most important thing which my father told me, and I always use this point. So I lost my father when I just completed first year and Nagpur University results were due. And then I think this is also one of the reason why I became an entrepreneur, because I started loving taking risk, and I wanted to do something extraordinary and something which is out of the box. So he told me one thing, that a good performer does not need a stage. So if you are a good performer, no matter which college do you come from, which background do you come from, is it rich, your parents are poor, they are literate, illiterate, does not matter. If you can really prove it with your talent, there would be crowd around you to see your performance, and this is what you should do. Like, if you are a good performer, even if you start performing on a road, like just a random road, people would stop and see your performance. So you don't need to build a stage. Wherever you will perform, that will become a stage for you. So uh, yeah, thank you so much. And this is just a meme I am sharing for fun with all of seriousness, that Balidan Dena Hoga. You almost know about this. So obviously some sacrifices you have to do in your career, in your life, even for getting that biggest job, or even for getting that dream vacation or dream house, dream car. Some sacrifices are required, but if you do it in right direction, that sacrifice, that Balidan actually pays a lot to you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. It was very motivating and inspiring to hear you out. I must say you maintained a remarkable poise in the face of our audience. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us. It was a great session from your side.
Yeah, thank you, Mansi. Do we have any questions?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, we do have. Despite of having such a bad throat, you could still make it, and it didn't seem like you had a bad one. So that was great. And this is also uh, an example of being a smart and successful entrepreneur.
You can't, as I said, you can't step back. Like,
Yeah, right.
you have to keep on working.
Yeah. So, ma'am, there was one question from our audience. I'll just like to put forth before you. So, ma'am, they are asking, if entrepreneurship is not earning money, then what is it about? Business should be for revenue and profit, and that is money. So, I guess this is quite a relatable one for you, as you have mentioned it.
Yeah. So see, we are not saying you that there won't be any money. At obviously, when I started out, I had, like, till now also I am not getting like a particular salary or out every month, but then I have this much amount that I can maintain all my expenses, what all expenses are there in my life, right from affording a maid for 24/7, so that she can cook for me, she can clean my house, I don't have to do anything, so I am maintaining that, to living in my own flat or doing something. So this happens. Obviously there is money, but for that you need to work hard for. So I have been in this pipeline for 3 years, and now I can afford at least like my basic things, and later on, if I become more successful, I would be having loads of money, even millions of dollars, and that is obviously there. But initially we are telling you that initially, at least for 3-4 years or some certain point, like the timeline is not defined. Some people also, so aapne, if you have heard about White Hat Junior. So White Hat Junior is a company which is advertising right now about teaching coding to small children. So this company was just 18 months old when Byju's acquired it for $300 million rupees. So $300 million is a lot of money. So this founder started a company, and he made sure that in 18 months he is getting an investment. And so it might happen, it might not happen. That we are telling you. We are telling you that it is a risk. Obviously, it is about money, getting a status in your life, making that mark in your life, um, gaining popularity, or maybe setting an example for the society, generating employment for others. These are all part of the journey, and this is what we are telling you, that earning money is also a part of it, equivalent part of it. So it is about money and lifestyle and making a mark in the society, but it is more about solving a problem. So if you are a good problem solver, for example, right now, like power cut ho gaya jaldi se, like when I was presenting, so I cannot just tell the organizers that I cannot speak anymore, or I cannot just text them, and I cannot panic, because I am the speaker. If I am panicking, then what will happen to you? You will just drop off the call. But but this is what I think being an entrepreneur looks like. Every time, whenever any situation comes, you are so calm, you are so composed that okay, you come back, you always bounce back. So first, learning that bouncing back is important. Money, as I said, is a secondary part. I did my startup to help people. I never thought of becoming an entrepreneur, and that's why I started with my non-profit organization. From last 3 years, I was working with my non-profit, and now also and whatever I am today is not by run. Even in Forbes Asia nomination, I am not because of my money. I am because of the work that I have done, and that's how I got listed there. So doing work, solving a problem in right way, and creating an impact is the bigger part. Money comes with it. अगर आप अच्छे हो तो आपको पैसे तो मिलेंगे ही ना. If you work for a company as well, and if you work so good, obviously money will come to you. Or even if you threaten the company that I am going to leave, the company will tell me how much bonus you want, because this company don't want to let you go, because they understand that you are really valuable for you. But the value you need to create for yourself in that company, because there are 2000 other people working with you. Similarly, in the startup ecosystem, there are so many startups. Money will come to you and customers will come to you, but first you need to make a mark. First you need to show them why they should come to you and not to other business. So once you figure that out, money will automatically start coming.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. I guess they got an answer for it. So I would like Runming to extend the vote of thanks for today. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you, Didi. Good evening, everyone. I am Ranmay Deshpande, Vice Chair of IEEE Cummins College of Engineering for Women Student Branch, and it's my privilege today to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks. A special thanks to our chief guest, Dr. Swati Muzumdar, for devoting her time and giving us an excellent coverage of her journey. I would like to thank all the guest speakers for joining with us today and sharing their experiences with our audiences. It was very insightful listening to you. I also extend my thanks to Dr. Bharat Bhushan Doshi, Mr. Ranjit Singh, Mr. Arvind Kumar, Sri Milanji Kukre, and Mrs. Jaya Rao for giving us this opportunity and their continuous support. I would like to thank all our guests, Dr. Suryanarayan Dula, Dr. Sarika Chauhan, Mr. Abhay Singh, all the EXICOM members, and Cummins College of Engineering for Women's faculty members, and the entire SAC team for joining with us today. Last but not the least, my sincere thanks to all the audience. We feel very fortunate to have you all tonight. Please to join us tomorrow for more such amazing speakers and some fun stand-up comedy as well. I again request everyone to kindly switch on their cameras for a picture. I also request the faculty members to kindly switch on the cameras. Yes, thank you all. I hereby conclude today's sessions.
Thank you so much. Please join us tomorrow as well. Thank you.
You girls, very well done.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations, everybody. Thank you so much. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for
Thank you,
joining.
sir.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
So
Thank you, sir.
congratulations, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank